Mother what? Pro Bowl.
I don't like that you made eye contact with me.
It's the Pro Bowl preview edition of the Sims and Lefkoe podcast.
I have literally printed out nearly a dozen pages, and I don't think the Pro Bowl is on one of these pages.
The AFC. 3 o'clock.
Are they actually?
Is that what time the game is?
Sunday.
Are they picking teams this year? Or are they actually playing the NFC? I mean,
I just looked it up.
Tomorrow night's the skills challenge,
Yes,
right?
I'm kind of into that.
Well, we
will
should
watch
talk about that.
I don't
Yeah.
even know
No.
what the challenges are.
Let's preview the skills challenge.
What I'm really scared is I have to do, the Pro Football Talk Show on Monday morning.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to watch the Pro Bowl.
No.
So I'm deliberately not going to watch
Just
to
make
add
it up.
into the conversation.
Yes.
I'm going to be like, what? You watched it? You're stupid. I'm
You
not
should
watching
do for the Pro Bowl what you did for Roberto Aguayo when he was drafted.
it.
Grade K. I don't grade kickers. I don't watch the Pro Bowl. I was just having this argument outside. I said, all we do is talk about how dumb the Pro Bowl is, and yet on Saturday night of the Hall of Fame, they're going to go, inducted Randy Moss with 12 Pro Bowl appearances. We don't care about it until the end when we all of a sudden care about it.
Well, the Pro Bowl, at least like in some of those guys' early careers, had a little relevance. Like
now, you said that, you looked at me that day, you went, Derek Carr is in the Pro Bowl. And you went, this is a joke.
21st rated quarterback in football is in the Pro Bowl.
You'd rather I not make eye contact with you when I do the mother
it
what?
was kind of weird.
It was weird.
It was
All
like
right,
you were
good.
like intimately
You're
looking
like,
into
Pro Bowl. What's up?
Mother what?
Mother what? It is our 150th episode of the podcast. It's probably more like, what do you think, 250?
Probably something like
Who
that.
knows?
But 150 of the
Unbelievable.
numbered podcast.
The motherfucking
Number 50.
podcast.
Sims, what 50s do you have?
Oh, I have a guy named Telvin Smith who's
Hey.
pretty awesome.
Yes. Jacksonville Jaguars.
Mike Singletary,
That is a legend. Hall of Famer. 7-time All-Pro.
7-time
And a Super Bowl winner.
All-Pro. Let's see. Shazier's 50?
Ryan Shazier is a 50. It's a good number.
It is a good number. I know I'm going to miss a lot of obvious ones here, but any other legends I'm missing?
Let me just go through the list,
Go
shall
ahead.
we? Current guys, Brooks Reed, Blake Martinez, Andre Branch. 2 guys on IR this year, Albert McClellan and Jarrell Freeman. 2 players that will be in the Super Bowl. Linebacker for the Patriots, Nicholas Grigsby. Linebacker Brian Brayman for the Eagles. Bigger names, Sean Lee, Justin Houston,
Damn.
KJ Wright.
Damn.
All 50s. There's a 50 on every team,
Right.
but I'm going to be honest. If you want to make the list, you got to show out.
Yeah.
And those are the guys that showed out.
Right.
Other all-timers.
And don't worry about Rutgers, by the way.
No, we're not.
Quintero Frierson, linebacker, but go on, all-timers.
Quintero Frierson from
Good
that
guy.
vaunted 2016.
You know it.
I mean, it's the only team that's fun.
All right, all-timers. Sorry to cut you off.
Baltimore Colts center during the 60s and 70s won two championships, Bill Curry, and then another center, Dave Dalby, who was the center for the Raiders for about a decade and a half, 3-time Super Bowl champ. Larry Foote was 50 for almost his whole career. A.J. Hawk was a 50. So some other ones that are going to be relevant to the Super Bowl. Gary Cobb, he's a broadcaster in Philadelphia. He was a linebacker for the Eagles in the 80s. Mark Simino. Remember Mark Simino?
Sure.
He wore 50 for one season. 2004, when the Eagles went to the Super Bowl. Every other season he wore 53. He wore 50 that one year.
Can we turn down the air conditioning in here? Seriously.
We don't. You know it doesn't work.
I mean, what
It's
the?
50 degrees.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Better
Mike-
than too hot.
I need to go get my jacket. I'm like dead serious.
You want me to get
Mike
it for you?
Vrabel.
I mean, I might need it. Yes, I'm listening.
Mike Vrabel was 50,
Yes.
and he caught a touchdown in that Super Bowl against the Eagles.
Sure.
Which is the worst. When you're playing the Patriots and they do a play that leads to a linebacker catching a touchdown, you just feel dumb.
Well, yeah, I know, but he caught a touchdown in the Super Bowl the year before that too against the Carolina Panthers.
Rob Ninkovich was a 50 as well.
Man, Vrabel and Ninkovich, they're like
Two-
the same Neanderthal.
And then some randoms. Pisatina Isamoa.
Right.
Aaron Henderson. Curtis Lofton was a 50.
Right.
Derek Smith, the linebacker for the Niners for about a decade.
Sure.
And then 2 random Detroit linebackers who I loved, Chris Claiborne and Ernie Sims.
Ernie Sims.
Those were good ones. Other random 50s.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I go into the 50 well, I learn some stories, and I want to share them with you.
Right.
Guy Morris was a center for the Eagles, when they lost the Super Bowl in 1980.
Was Ralph Samson 50? No.
I don't know. I didn't do basketball players this week. And Guy Morris was on the Patriots when they lost to the Bears. So he lost the Super Bowl with both teams. Guy Morris was also the coach of Kentucky during the Bluegrass Miracle when he was doused with Gatorade by Jared Lorenzen and LSU had the Hail Mary.
Oh, my gosh. That's amazing. I remember
He
that
was the
play.
coach of Kentucky during that time.
Right.
And the other guy is a guy by the name of Larry McGrew. He was a New England Patriots linebacker from 80 to 89. And you know what team he joined in 90? The New York Giants.
I don't even remember him.
He was on that team that won the Super Bowl that I went out and said is just like the 2017 Eagles.
Right.
You might not know, but you might know this. When Refrigerator Perry bounded into the end zone,
Oh, that was him.
the guy he ran over was Larry McGrew.
Man, I always had a lot of respect for him when I watched that.
Well, somebody didn't. Apparently, he was on the ground. A teammate came over, said, "You okay?" He said, "Yeah, I'm fine, but I just made ESPN highlights for eternity." Not only that, but a Colorado thief named Frederick William McGrew illegally adopted Larry's name and career statistics and got a job as an assistant football coach at Gavillion College at California.
Play that touchdown.
He was fired 5 weeks later
Perry.
and arrested.
Super Bowl 20.
He then also went on to get a job as a cook at TGI Fridays in Salt Lake City and still used the fake identity of Larry McGrew to get it done. And he would often tell customers at the restaurant, "I was the player who the fridge ran over in Super Bowl 20. If you could pick any identity, you're going to pick the dude that got run over in the Super Bowl?
Man, Larry, you've fallen far.
Think about
Super
that.
Bowls, and now you're working. Where was he working? TGI Fridays?
Yeah, TGI Fridays.
How big was? Do we know the fake Larry McGraw? How
No.
big he was?
But apparently he was a linebacker. Linebackers in the 80s weren't that big. Mike
Yeah.
Singletary wasn't that
No,
big.
but he was one of the few. No, they were. I would say they were big.
Oh, they were like too big.
They
were
were.
like
It was like a
Brandon
different
Spikes.
game, right? It was. Now, like I give this guy a lot of credit.
Oh, he
that
just
was
got
him.
destroyed.
That he would be in concussion protocol in this day and age. Okay, maybe for the year they might have been like, we got to evaluate in 1986. If they show the replay from behind, I give the guy a lot of credit. He sticks his head in there
And actually tries to go
and
face
gets
to
a
face with
temple
Fridge
shot. If they show it again, darn it.
Baby Sims is getting his jacket from the one, the only, the Wheels,
The Wheels.
the originator,
My buddy.
the best buddy in the world. He's been
Thanks, Wheels.
He's been in.
Thanks,
he's
Wheels.
the one that prints out your iTunes comments so that I can read them. He's the fucking man. Yeah, but yeah, McGrew got destroyed by the Fridge. So the one thing we always do, amendment number 2, Kyle Shanahan is our favorite coach in the NFL. Here's what I want to ask about Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
Against Bill Belichick, he has scored 34, 27, 28. Last year, 344 total yards in the Super Bowl, went 3 for 3 in the red zone. What could the Eagles steal from Kyle Shanahan for the Super Bowl? That would be my question. Any philosophy?
No, I mean, you guys have a lot of the same common things that will scare them because your offensive line is going to put them in a bind in general. I mean, just with your scheme, the RPO, what you do there. I mean, that's where Kyle got his success last year is the run game, stressing New England. Then that led to some of the big plays in the pass game. So, you know, it's not the exact same scheme, but in theory, it can be very similar to that.
Right.
Your game against Minnesota was fascinating.
We're going to get into
that.
that.
But regardless, no, I think some of the same pressures that are going to be on New England, and you guys are the better team. I mean, that's the better football team.
Also,
but that doesn't always mean you win the Super Bowl.
Of course not, because it's the fucking Patriots who.
Well, the better team rarely wins. I mean, you know, like I said, the Bills were better than the 1990 Giants. I mean, my dad would tell you, you put Parcells on the Bills win by 30. I mean.
Down 10 points or more in their last 3 playoff games against the Seahawks, Falcons, and Jaguars.
Right.
The Patriots have outscored those teams 47-3 in the fourth quarter. And the one thing the Eagles don't do, which I'm super pumped about right now, is run that scheme. Jaguars, Falcons, Seahawks. Cover 3 press bail. Don't got to run it.
Right.
You look like Deep Throat right now.
Can I nip something in the bud real quick before we go to Minneapolis?
We're not going to Minneapolis next. That's like literally not for 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah, well, no. I'm saying next week before we travel there.
Oh, shit, yes.
All week, is it going to be your Eagles, and then when you're talking, it's we and our team?
Have I been saying we and our?
Well, Chris is calling them your Eagles.
Oh, so I actually haven't done it.
You haven't done it yet, but I feel like that's going to happen too. Are you a we?
Sims said this to me as soon as the game ended. He said, embrace this. really go for it.
Yeah.
So much so that in about 10, 15 minutes, I have a rant.
Right.
Because I'm tired of Philadelphia fans being called the worst fans in the NFL.
Oh.
I am going to embrace it.
Good.
My dad's traveling out there.
Right.
I just found out my mom's traveling out there.
Awesome.
I also feel like I'm playing with house money.
Right.
I can't believe they're in this situation. But as I said before, and I genuinely mean this, to be truly unbiased, you should admit you're biased.
Absolutely.
I have been nothing but critical of the Eagles. I just did an interview with Comcast Sports at NBC Sports Philadelphia,
Right.
and they brought up a tweet from last year when I said Doug Peterson's not a good coach, and I tweeted it 4 times, and my answer was I had a lot of tequila that night. And they were like, oh, that's okay then. But I'm so critical of the Eagles. But at this point, they truly are, in my mind, America's team. Because they're
playing
facing
the Patriots.
Yeah, they're facing the Patriots.
Yeah, everyone's rooting for them except for New England.
I think I would be doing an injustice.
I don't know.
If
Minnesota might be rooting for New England now. The fans up there.
So, by the way, I thought we'd put this out there.
Wait, did you even read my Jaguars D notes
Yes.
first? Because I know you had to do your Comcast thing.
I got them all.
Okay, just want to make sure.
I'm a very efficient worker. By the way, I will told you so. Diana Rossini from ESPN went around and talked to a lot of Patriots and said, what was the most powerful tool that you had to prepare for the Jaguars? Their response, film of the joint practice, almost in unison.
Right.
I don't know why you're clapping. I'm fucking pissed the Jags did it. I'm still mad the Jags did it.
I get why the Jags did it. This is why I haven't gone totally off the wheels with it, because there at least is some logic from their side. Their logic is, you guys are 3-13. Let's go see the Super Bowl champs and how hard they practice. And you'll realize this is why you're 3-13 and they're winning Super Bowls, because they come out every day and are like possessed in practice. And we kind of just want to go out and go, oh, we're cool. And I'm Jalen Ramsey and Miles Jack and we're just awesome. We'll show up on Sundays. So I get it from that standpoint. Because
at the same point,
you
don't go to dinner with the devil because you're probably going to owe more than the check.
You never dance with the devil in the pale moonlight, a wise man once said.
Who was that man?
Jack Nicholson as the Joker.
Was it?
Yes.
Did you know? Do you know the actor that played him? Do you know the actor that played that character in the sequel?
Yeah.
Who?
I was trying
to D's nuts you, and it didn't fucking work. That was really bad. That blew up in my face. You know what else blew up?
Right.
That video of the Eagles from 2017 and the Giants from 1990.
I heard.
And a lot of people are like, how did you figure those out? And I say, I'm watching the game with Phil Simms' son and Carson Wentz's ACL tears, and you knew it before they even announced he was hurt. And then midway through the game, you looked at me and went, this happened to my dad. We've been talking about this for damn near 3 months.
Bleacher Report come up to me today and just talk about this like this was new. And I'm like, well, I guess you haven't listened to the podcast for the last 7 weeks.
I put together some other notes that kind of
you showed it. And the pictures with them are awesome. Right. Yes.
But it's really interesting. I mean, it got so big that Haley Joel Osment liked my tweet. The guy that played the kid in Sixth Sense, I See Dead People.
Right.
I See Dead People. I like Adam Lefkoe's tweets. I see dead people. But what I've realized through this is next week is quote week. Right. Next week is Radio Row. People say things and it gets a lot of attention. Yep. So be prepared for that. This week is arbitrary stat week. And I forgot that last year I tweeted out Kyle Shanahan against Bill Belichick. He scored 34 and 27 with Matt Schaub and Rex Grossman. Right. And that tweet broke up. So what happens is this week it goes back and forth. So you had my Eagles, 1990 New York Giants. Then you have the Patriots are 3-1 when wearing white jerseys in the Super Bowl, and they've won 12 of the last 13. And then you get from the Eagles, when the Eagles beat the Vikings in the playoffs, they're 3-0 in their next game. And then you get the Patriots, teams that have won by 30 or more points in championship games are just 2-6 in the Super Bowl. Right. But then you go the other way. The league leader for passing yards has never won a Super Bowl, and that was Tom Brady. They're 0-51. They've never done it. Or Nick Saban and Bill Belichick have never won a title in the same season for the last decade. This is the week where people go into the stat book and they find all these storylines, and the fan bases are just looking for hope. And I would tell you, as someone who has been gambling all year, trends are fucking bullshit. They are. But every time you bet, they go, the Packers are 8-0-1 against the Vikings away after a 20-point win on the road when their head coach has diarrhea from eating too much Kung Pao. And they're like, well, what did he have for dinner? You can't compare this Eagles-Patriots game to 2004.
No.
The Eagles 1990 Giants thing was kind of a joke, and now people are like, I'm getting tweets.
It could
this
really
is
happen.
it. This is the reason.
It's amazing, the similarities. I mean, it is. It's coincidental, but it's still amazing.
Here's what's amazing. I own an outcome.
Right.
If Gostkowski misses the field goal,
right,
you think you're the oracle. I might get a fucking key to the city.
The mush has really grown up before us
Holy
this year.
shit. Like, could you imagine if they missed it? Insane.
Oh, the other thing.
I know what outcome I'm rooting for.
What was the stat you said there about the league leading in passing
The
yards?
league leader in passing yards has never won a Super Bowl.
That's amazing. I didn't know that. That's a good stat there.
Isn't it interesting?
Yeah, I mean,
NFL Reddit is the greatest place ever, and I
Kurt
take my
Warner
cap.
didn't lead the lead in passing yardage the year they won it.
Lead
99?
the lead.
Stand by, Ghost Rider.
But that's I guess that's
What about
amazing.
the white jerseys? Is there anything there?
No,
That's
there's
just
nothing there. I
superstition
mean,
Cowboys type
you
stuff?
can't even draw anything away from last year. I mean, let alone this year or 10 years ago or 20 years ago or 5 years ago. The Patriots are a different team than last year. It's not even the same guys. The defense is totally different. So, yes, you can draw some correlations through scheme and things that happen, but as a whole,
I just find it funny because it really is about hope. It's
Right.
about each fan base wanting hope. Each fan base also wants to make money, and from sportsbettingdime.com, I got sent some Super Bowl odds. I am not interested in the most rushing yards and most receiving yards. I don't even care what color Pink's hair is, but I thought these four were interesting. MVP, the favorite is Brady, 6-5. Foles is second at 15-2. Gronk is third at 19-1. Belichick's shirt. What is it?
Steve Berline led the league in passing that year.
Wow,
Yes.
that's wild.
That's funny.
Belichick's shirt, 1-5 that he wears long sleeves, 5-1 that he wears short sleeves. But I go, what is cut sleeves?
I think, I guess
Is
that's
that
the short sleeves.
No, but
he's
that's
gonna wear
5-1. The favorite's long sleeves.
He's going to wear long sleeves with a cut sleeve sweatshirt over the top of it.
Exactly. Odds.
Exactly.
Well, no, but I mean, it's that to me, I would never bet on because there's too much gray area for interpretation.
I can't get internet in here.
Give it to me. I'll work on
I
it.
mean, I just
I got
unbelievable.
you. Stand by, Ghost Rider.
It's just
Odds that Al
four
Michaels.
tabs are open. Whoa.
Odds that Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, or Michelle Tafoya mispronounced Halaput. Wow, I've never messed it up. Halapulivati Vitae.
Oh, wow.
4-1.
Damn.
So I might take that bet now. And then also it's 100-1 that Timberlake performs part of Dick in a Box during his halftime performance. I forgot we get to see JT too.
Yes.
That'll be fun.
Yes. Hell, I don't think he's going to be doing Dick in the Box. I mean, if he,
It's a Dick in a Box.
it'll be the last time he does the Super Bowl. If
I
it
can
is.
see him being like, "Na-na-na-na-na," and then like winking and then keep going. But 100-1 is pretty good odds. All right, can I do random 2 minutes with you? I'm going to put the timer on. These are non-Super Bowl stories that I think are okay. I only want to take 2 minutes going over them. You get 20 seconds per topic. Are you ready?
Yes.
Here we go. Peter King says Mike Vrabel is sort of the defensive Sean McVay. Your response?
Not ready to go there yet, but I get the overall
'Cause he's
theory
young?
of that. He's young. He's kind of a new up-and-comer that everybody sees, greatness in.
Yes.
And he can bring new ideas to the table.
The Carolina Panthers are cleared of Cam Newton from the possible concussion. Would you like to gloat?
Wait, no shit. I mean, he was on the ground and he grabbed his eyes immediately. But we're all doctors now. We all know everything. He went to his knees by the sideline. Has to be a concussion.
Yes. Todd Haley, rumored to possibly be an OC for the Browns. What do you think about that?
I like that a lot. I mean, I like Todd Haley's offense a whole lot better than Hugh Jackson's
How
offense.
do you work when you both want to call the plays?
Well, I mean, I guess Hugh will be able to say, hey, it's 3rd and 2. He'll be able to make the final call to say, run it, throw it, whatever it may be. But
Yeah.
I think the most part, Haley's going to call the plays.
The Cowboys have announced their new quarterbacks coach, and it's former quarterback Kellen Moore. What do you
Yeah.
think about having a 28-year-old quarterbacks coach?
It wouldn't be be my favorite thing in the world, I think, if I was a head coach, especially when your quarterback's still very young himself and they were in the room together. Yeah, exactly. I'd rather have a guy there to put the poker in his ass.
The Giants have announced their new defensive coordinator, and it's James Bettcher, former DC of the Cardinals.
Thank God.
Why are you saying thank God?
They were talking about it being Jack Del Rio, and I just don't even understand that one.
Tell people what Bettcher will be like in New York.
Bettcher, I think, is going to be amazing here in New York. This defense has the elements and players that will fit what he wants to do. They're
super multiple.
Yes, super multiple. Has the cover corners on the outside to do some things.
And he plays safeties at linebacker, and the Giants can't draft linebacker. It's perfect.
They got it all.
Last one, Mike McCarthy and Joe Philbin. Brace your fucking face. They're, quote, rebuilding the Packers' offensive playbook.
Wow. I didn't hear that part of it, but I'm actually shocked.
Share your emotions.
I mean, they need to rebuild it. I mean, my big thing with those two is just, all right, I guess I got to see it.
That was your 2 minutes. I'm just kidding. No, seriously, though. Like, I'm stunned. When I saw that, I was like, wow, I can't believe they're finally going to do what we've been asking for.
I hope so, but, I mean, they're both from the same school of thought, so what are they going to rebuild? The same crap? I mean, I would have elected a guy from outside influences to come in and go, hey, like this scheme, you guys haven't done this in 12 years. Look at this one. Let's try to put this in the offense. Maybe they can figure that out and do it themselves, and I'm sure this will lead to a better offense and a little more creativity.
Yeah.
But, again, when you're from the same school, you don't even know what you don't know is what I'm basically saying.
Joe Philbin was asked what it's been like, and he said, honestly, it's been an emotional experience. Like, to come back and to all be together. I really hope that they can sit down and maybe they'll look at themselves and go, we have talent here.
Well, and
let's do it right.
His emotional thing, too, I guess has to be, right? I mean, didn't his son lose his life up in Green Bay right before he took the Miami Dolphins job, right? So there's probably a double whammy there.
It is literally impossible for the Patriots to do anything without there being some shroud of secrecy and mystery. Mm-hmm. And I'd like to introduce fans that maybe haven't heard this story yet to a man known as Tapethroat. You've heard of Deep Throat. Tapethroat. Apparently, there was a conference for professional baseball athletic trainers in Glendale, Arizona last week, and there was one company that had a booth, a company called KT Tape. It's a black tape that's typically known for wrists.
Yeah.
Well, apparently at this booth, a man came up with an assistant, and he said that he knew a New England Patriots player who needed tape to cover his thumb while also allowing to flex his hand.
Right.
When asked which the player's name was, he refused to answer. The man then cut a strip of the KT tape and tested it out on his thumb with the assistant taking photos. He continued to say, it's to cover an abrasion. We want to wrap it around the finger. I know it's not your typical application. The person at the booth asked for a card. The man would not share it with them. The mystery didn't end there. As the man left the booth, the man mysteriously said, you may have just saved the game for us. This company then got an order to One Patriot Way. It was sent, and the company looked up on the TV that Sunday.
I believe it's One Patriot Place.
Excuse me.
Thank you. Get that.
I was trying to save all of the packages. On Sunday, they looked up and they saw their tape on the hand of maybe the greatest quarterback of all time, Tom Brady.
Right.
But Tapethroat, a mystery man that showed up and went, I'd like to try your tape.
I mean, I don't know why are they hiding it to that degree? I guess, I don't know.
I love it.
I would love to know who it is.
I love it.
Was this someone that, like, New England sent there, or was it just Brady's guy?
Is it Ernie?
No, it would not be Ernie. Ernie was definitely locked in a room somewhere, like studying the NFC opponents and figuring out the algorithm to beat them.
Algorithm. I just think it's fascinating that a random guy was at the Professional Baseball Athletic Traders Conference.
Yes. I know. Like,
so,
who sent them?
So random.
Who sent them? Did the Patriots make a call out there to hey, go check this out?
They're just next level. That was a story,
level.
Josh, that when I see it, I go, oh, this is amazing. I love this shit.
Yeah. It's good.
Man. Tapethroat.
Tapethroat. He was amazing. And, I mean, I don't know why he would need that special of a tape for what he had, but I'm sure it made him feel a little comfortable.
Apparently, this tape specializes in increasing certain fluids, and it's like it has all these things that it promises.
Oh, gotcha.
And increasing like I don't know. It's apparently also lifts the skin
Right.
so that it would keep it closed as well. But they were like, we've never thought about putting tape over stitches or cuts. We just wouldn't do it.
Right.
And the Patriots were like, this is the adhesive that we were looking for.
Yeah, I mean, the adhesive, and then you could see that they, like when you see the scar and you saw them applying that stuff to him during the game, they were putting glue on it, right, underneath the tape. That's what they do. They basically put glue over the stitches to help that out. But, man, you can't tell it affected him much. Like I said, when I watched the game and I just got done really watching the film, there was a few throws that the ball wobbled. For the most part, though, the ball went where Brady wanted it to go.
Coming up, Sims is going to do a full film breakdown of Eagles, Vikings, Patriots, and Jaguars. Big Phil Sims' Phillin Time is coming on. I'm excited to talk about that. I'm going to give my rant about why everybody needs to calm the F down about Philadelphia. But we're talking about Brady, and you came up to me after Monday's show and said, I really want to talk about Tom Brady's eras and how it hasn't always been 400-yard, 3-touchdown Brady, but that's how we see him now.
Right.
But he's gone through phases, and you wanted to break down the phases.
Yeah, I want to break it down. I mean, I think, first of all, this is the first thing that has to be known. All-time great quarterbacks, they all, to me, have one thing in common, like the all-time greats. They won Super Bowls early in their career, right? Whether it's Brady, Aikman, Montana won it in his third year. Russell Wilson. Exactly right. What that does.
Joe Flacco.
Well, he was a little older. That was like, but overall, what I want to say there is when you win the Super Bowl at an early age like that, the pressure's off, right? You can just grow your game. Nobody's going, oh, can he win the big game anymore? Yeah. And it really allows you to grow your game because you now can take chances that you might not have taken if you hadn't won the Super Bowl and won the big game. But you're, hey, shit, I got a ring. I'm going to throw this in there on 3rd and 12, whatever else. And it helps you.
Guys like Payton, whose most of his career was defined by not winning. And then when he finally got it off his back.
And he was in big games going, oh, I don't want to be the reason everyone blames me again, even though it wasn't really my fault those years before, but we're going to blame the quarterback. So, yes, you lose that freedom to overcome that where, you know, other great quarterbacks had those luxuries. Okay, so basically this is what I broke it into 3 phases, right?
So there are 3 phases of Tom Brady's Hall of Fame career.
3 phases of Tom Brady's Hall of Fame career.
Where does the first one go to?
We're going to start right with the 2001 football season when they
What do you
want
to call this phase?
I mean, to me, this is game manager Tom Brady.
So the first, so from 2001 to what year do you put that era?
I would say like I'm going to say the 2004 basically.
That's what I was going to say.
Right.
Because I have the playoff statistics in front of me. But so 2001 and 2004, you will now call the game manager Brady era.
Yeah, game manager Brady era. I mean, hey, AFC Championship game. I know he got hurt. He's 12 for 18, 115 yards.
Against the Steelers.
The snow game before that against the Oakland Raiders, he was 32 of 52 for 312 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception, 70.4 rating. He was good. It was a snowy day. They couldn't really run the ball the way they wanted. And then, hey, he wins the Super Bowl MVP
by throwing for 145 yards, a touchdown with a completion percentage under 60.
There we go. So that kind of win should give your Eagles team a lot of confidence to go, hey, they've done this. This is how they started.
So then go to 2003. He goes to the playoffs.
2003, they go to the playoffs, right? First divisional round, 21 of 41 against the Tennessee Titans, 201 yards, 1 touchdown, because they were still a balanced team. They weren't going, oh, this is Tom Brady. We got to spread it around and throw it over.
17 to 14.
Right. AFC Championship game versus the Indianapolis Colts. 22 for 37, 237 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception.
Completion percentage under 60%.
There you go. And then now this is
Super Bowl's when it opened up.
This is the Super Bowl. This game right here is, I think, what gave them the confidence going forward to go, okay, Brady's the man now. He's carried us through a clutch situation, and we can put the team on his back from here on out. And that Super Bowl, they win it 32 of 48, 354 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Unreal game.
Right, unreal game. I feel like from there now, they started to go, okay.
But even then, the 2004 playoffs, he was below average in almost every game.
And then you mean the 2005 or the 2004?
The 2004-2005 when he went to the Eagles.
Right.
They beat the Colts, and he threw for 144
yards. Oh, sorry,
yards.
I missed that year. Yeah,
they
go
beat
ahead.
the Steelers, and he threw for 207 yards.
Right.
And then against the Eagles, he only threw for 236, but he didn't throw a pick in the whole playoffs.
No, he did not. And so
his completion percentage was around 70 in every game.
Yes. So, but
that was when he started turning turning the corner in your mind.
That is when he started turning the corner to like, okay, we're gonna be officially able to put Tom Brady into the Peyton Manning crowd, even though everybody else was already saying he's greater than because he had 3 Super Bowls, right? But they were basically saying now we can trust you to run the show, Tom Brady. Now 2005, he was phenomenal all season long.
So is this the beginning of the second era?
This is the beginning of the second era, and this is the beginning of Tom Brady's not as perfect as we all thought he was. He's not as clutch. There's questions about it a little bit.
So we'll call this the back to reality, or Tom Brady is human.
Yeah, Tom Brady showing signs of human, right?
So Tom Brady might be human.
Might be human.
Game manager and Tom Brady might be human, and that's from 2005-06 to when?
I'm gonna say
2017.
7 is a different. No, I'm gonna go.
16?
So I'm gonna break it down like this. So yes, even 2007 to a degree. But big thing is, I lost my train of thought where I wanted to go with that right there.
Well, let me help you. 2006, he throws 2 interceptions to the Denver Broncos.
Go 2005 first. 2005.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, they get to the wild card game, right? He was phenomenal that whole year. They beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. He goes 15 for 27 for 201 yards, 3 touchdowns. Next week, they go to the divisional round against the Denver Broncos, and this is the first time I feel like we see flaws in Tom Brady. We go, what? Tom Brady didn't come through in the big situation? Well, this is unreal. And he went 20 of 36 for 341 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. The famous Champ Bailey 99 interception yard return, right? That Ben Watson tackled him at the 1-yard line. So that was the first time we walked away and we said, damn, Brady didn't come through in the clutch. That's crazy, which, of course, is ridiculous in itself.
Of course.
But it showed flaws in him. Okay, so now they go to the next year. And we go to the 2006 playoffs. This is the first time I said, ooh, Brady has not been quite as clutch as of late. In 2006, they're really good. They get the wild card game against the Jets. They win. He goes 22 of 34 for 214 yards, 2 touchdowns. Still not like carrying the squad. They're not asking him to be, 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. The divisional round, San Diego Chargers, the game they should have lost. Kayson fumbles the interception to close out the game. Brady goes 27 of 51, 280 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. They win the game. Okay, they go to the AFC Championship game. They get that 21-6 lead against the famous Peyton Manning Colts in Indianapolis, right?
And everyone's saying it's over.
It's over, right? Second half, whatever. They come back. The Colts win. But Brady, 21 of 34, 232, 1 touchdown, and the interception at the end to close out the deal for the Colts. So there. Now we got 2 years in a row. We go, what's going on here with Brady, all this stuff? And I'm questioning this at this point, but I don't think the public is. Brady's still the man, and he can do it all himself, at least in mind. But I'm starting to question. 2007 playoffs, they tear up the Jaguars, right?
This is undefeated season?
Undefeated season. This is the amazing game in Week 17 against the Giants. I was there when he threw for his 50th touchdown pass and all that. Now, they won that Jaguars game. This is to me where... This is where Tom Brady, to me, became conscious of legacy, to me, right around this time.
Okay. Because he's got an undefeated season going on. He's got 3 Super Bowls.
Right. And there was a little thing where New England guys always used to say this to me, and I noticed it because you know me. I was in the weeds where they would, Brady throws an interception early in the game. They are always like, oh, man. We're going to have the Tom's in his own head game now.
And he threw 3 against the Chargers for the 2nd straight year.
3 against the Chargers in the AFC Championship game, but they still win the game. That was the game when Phillip Rivers played with the torn ACL, right? Remember that? Right, yes. And so 3 interceptions, but they still win the game. They go to the Super Bowl. He plays real good. I mean, it's not great. He's under duress, so I'm not going to sit here and blame him.
Yeah, he was sacked 5 times.
29 of 48, 266, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. So played a good game, made the clutch drive to go down. But I feel like from this point on, he for the first time looked at himself and said, oh, my legacy took a tarnish.
I'm 3-1 in Super Bowls.
I'm 3-1 in the Super Bowls, and really in some big playoff moments here lately, I haven't come through, and I've made some bad mistakes and things like that. So now we get to the 2008, he blows his knee out, right? First game of the year. 2009, this is where I feel like Brady really changed. Not for the good. in either. This is where I feel like Brady really struggled with mechanics and became the dink and dunker that you heard me talking about when I first started working at Bleacher Report.
It is funny when you break it down, because I really do think you go, man, Brady's had an incredible career.
No.
But this is a very murky time.
It's
like
murky
a
6-7
year time.
This is a murky time where New England's going, how long are we going to be stuck with Brady? Not long after this. They're starting
like
to go
8 or 9 for him.
So, yes, it's 2009, okay? Playoffs. It's divisional round. Baltimore Ravens coming to town. They lose. He goes 23 of 42 for 54.8 completion percentage for 154 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. First round bye. Now,
out of here.
Now, you know, people made their own reasons, whatever it may be. And that wasn't a divisional game. I'm pretty sure that was the wild card game. That's a typo.
Okay.
But either way, that was the game where Ray Rice busted up the middle, the first play of the game, and you're like, uh-oh. But still, we're seeing signs of, oh, shit, like, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah.
Like, this is a pretty good run here. We're seeing games that are not, like, amazing, right? I mean, you go back to those 2005, 6, 7 playoffs.
Denver elimination, 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
Losing to the Colts, an interception. Losing the next year to the Giants, didn't really do much in that Super Bowl.
Right. And got away with some wins before that to get there, where you'd go, most quarterbacks wouldn't even got that.
So the year after Baltimore, Jets.
Jets coming to town. Rex Ryan. Hello, Rex-tasy. And he comes in, and he's got some game plans. Brady doesn't play horrible. He throws 2 TDs, 1 interception, 29 of 45, 299 yards. I believe he had a fumble in the game as well. But regardless, okay, they lose another one.
They lose another
so
one.
So you know, I think it's funny just thinking back about it, going like, damn, they went 5 years without going to the Super Bowl. What's wrong with them? You know what I mean? Okay, so now 2011 comes around, and they have the playoff game against Tim Tebow, where he throws 6 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Tom Brady throws 6 touchdowns.
Yes. It's Denver comes into town because Tebow came off the game against the Pittsburgh Steelers the week before. And Brady, I remember that game, but I know for me at that point, I was questioning Tom Brady at that point. I was just getting done with my career. I was watching him on film, and I'm just going, damn, I'm telling everybody, he is not as good as what everybody thinks right now.
You're doing the Bortles where you're looking around going, am I the only one noticing that Tom Brady's not Tom Brady
And
anymore?
I know other quarterbacks that I know around the NFL, offensive coordinators, ex-quarterbacks. We were all having these little conversations. Like, I would have people come up to me and be like, you know, did you watch the game of Brady like last week? Like, damn, he missed a lot of easy throws. And, like, stuff like that was going on in league circles. Either way, they go to the Super Bowl the next year. It doesn't really matter. But let's not forget, he throws that 6-touchdown game against the Broncos. Yes, certainly. And that was, like, so one-dimensional because Tebow and that offense sucked. But then next week, they go to the Super Bowl.
No, they go to the championship game against Baltimore.
Game. He throws 2 interceptions, no touchdowns, 239 yards. But they get in still. And they go to the Super Bowl. He has the they lose to the New York Giants, which, again, he played good enough for them to win.
276, 2
but
touchdowns,
he didn't play great like 2003, 2004 Tom Brady that I saw. Again, I think he was very conscious of yards, completions, and that was the game where, yes, 2 touchdowns, 1 interceptions. Also, he gave them 2 points by throwing the ball away deep down the middle of the field when no one was there in his own end zone, and they gave him a safety, if you remember that. Intentional grounding in his own end zone. Right. And I'm just going to tell you, I come there the next year.
So, hold on. So, at this point, Tom Brady has lost 2 Super Bowls in a row to the Giants.
Right.
He goes from 3-0 Super Bowls to 3-2.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, people are going, what is happening to Tom Brady?
Exactly right.
And then in comes Chris Sims.
In comes
Bitch
Chris
boy.
Sims.
The
Bitch
savior.
boy. Right. And I'm just telling
Were
you.
they like, hey, Chris, you want to suit it up? We'll
No,
question this
they were
Brady
more
guy?
like, though, I will tell you this, they were blaming Tom Brady for the Super Bowl loss when I got there. Yeah. In that building, Brady was the reason they lost the second Super Bowl to the Giants. I'm not going to get into all that, but either way.
Why won't you get into that?
Well, I mean, whatever. I'm not going to tell you who said what else. I'm not going to go into all that.
Fucking Brady.
But there was definitely that sentiment, like that he hadn't been playing his best ball, but yet they were overcoming it and getting to Super Bowls and things like that. Now, 2012, I'm there, and they're talking about, damn, Tom, we got to throw the ball down the field. We got to throw the ball down the field. Stop the dink and dunk shit. Stop all this shit. Okay, well, we get to the playoffs. We destroy the Houston Texans in the first round game. He plays phenomenal, but we got a beat on them. I mean, we know what they're running on defense. 3 touchdowns. I know this is long. I'm going to try to be faster. But now they get to the AFC Championship game. 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, 29 of 54.
To the Ravens.
To the Ravens. Ravens go on, beat the 49ers in the Super Bowl. I'm just saying, I was there. He didn't play good that year. I mean, didn't play good. Brandon Lloyd was open downfield the whole season, and he never wanted to throw it to him. And I'm telling you, this is when New England was like, damn, I don't know what to do. We just got to get 10 Wes Welkers and throw 90 million dink and dunk passes. And that's really when they started to collect the guys. Okay, so now 2013. This is the year I say, I don't think Tom Brady's one of the 5 best quarterbacks in football anymore.
This is when you first started saying
this. This is when I first started saying it.
You've seen enough.
I've seen 5 years, and I worked in New England, and I've really seen enough. I fucking know. I don't even want to hear it from anybody. I really want to just tell everybody, hey, fuck you, everybody. I'm telling you, he's not one of the 5 best, and you're fucking crazy for thinking it. I know he won 3 rings fucking 10 years ago, but he's not right now. Either way.
At this point, it's legitimately 10 years before.
Exactly right. So there we go. So now we get into the playoffs. They beat the Colts in the first round. He goes 13 for 25 for 198 yards. And they win. Now they're going to go to the AFC Championship game and play Peyton Manning. And this is when I say it.
Denver.
In Denver.
Peyton Manning's 50 touchdown season.
In 50 touchdown season. No, this is the year before that.
Okay.
Because they lost to the Colts in the first round game the year he threw the 50 touchdown. Or maybe I'm wrong. Either way, who gives a shit? I think you're right. You're right. It's 51 touchdowns that season because they're going to go to the Super Bowl and play the Seahawks. Right. So, okay, in that game, you're right. In that game, that divisional game we just talked about, the Colts, was LeGarrette Blount, downhill. And I'm going, damn, they're a run team, okay? They go to Denver the next week, and this is when I say it. Brady is no longer one of the 5 best quarterbacks because I watched the film and I go, Denver played Tom Brady like defenses play Blake Bortles in that game. They
277 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions.
People are wide open down the field the whole game, and he's missing them or doesn't want to throw them. Broncos go on, win the Super Bowl. Now we come to phase 3, where I feel like
this is the end of the Tom Brady might be human era.
Exactly right.
We've done game manager. We've done might be human.
Right.
And then what are you going to call this era?
This era is going to be. I think you gotta almost call this the rebirth of Tom Brady. I don't give a fuck about my legacy anymore. I'm just gonna win games and do what the coaches tell me.
Okay.
And you know what started it was, of course, they started that year with that bad game against the Chiefs, right? This
Week
dynasty is over because they're
Brady.
2-3, right, or 3-2, whatever they might be. I feel like from that point on, he finally just said, fuck my completion percentage. Let me fix my motion a little bit and start throwing the ball aggressively down the field.
This was the sidearm when he was watching Rodgers
This is when he
warm up.
started changing it, right. It stopped this over-the-top motion to throw these 4-yard option routes and let me throw the ball down the field to Gronk and hit Edelman and Welker down the field. So they go on. They win the Super Bowl that year, right? This is
against Seattle, and it goes from not being – if he would have lost that, he would have been 3-3 in Super Bowls.
He was a foot away from going 3-3, right?
But instead, now he's 4-2.
Now he's 4-2, and he played amazing in that Super Bowl.
He did.
And the deflate
but you're right.
game,
He was a foot away from being 3-3.
3-3, and everybody going, damn, Brady can't win the big one anymore. But either way, they win it. And this is just the greatness of Brady to me, because this is why you've heard me say Brady's better now than he was in 2010 and 11. And he does that. Okay, 2015.
Sounds like HGH to me.
I mean, no, it's not. But all right, 2015, they lose in the championship round to the Denver Broncos, one of the greatest defenses we ever saw.
And let's be honest, that performance from Tom Brady in that game was incredible.
It was very good.
Nobody was open.
No.
He was getting sacked constantly.
He was under pressure the whole game.
He got sacked 4 times, and he was just throwing from his back foot miracle throws the whole game.
So it was a totally different game than the Denver game they lost 2 years before that, where Denver just said, fuck Tom Brady. Like, we don't even think he can beat us. To now it was like, the team was on Brady's shoulders to where the New England was obnoxiously like going, we're not even going to run it. We're just going to drop back and pass it every play. We don't even care.
And then you go to last year, where it's Houston. He goes 287, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, #1 defense in the NFL.
Yes.
Then Pittsburgh, he goes 384, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and then the Super Bowl 466, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Right, and look at the amount of yards with these completions, right? Too, that tells you, like, we have other games where 52 attempts for 280 yards, and so it tells you the type of playing he's saying.
Now all of a sudden it's 8 and 9 instead of 5 and 6.
Exactly.
He's throwing the ball down the field.
Right. So to me, it was just very interesting. I wanted to put it all in context for people.
That's good.
There's things I noticed. I'm a
Those
nerd.
are the 3 eras: the game manager Brady, the he might be human Brady, and then the rebirth Brady. It's really a bell curve of his career.
Right. And I mean, what he's doing now is, of course, amazing.
And Josh, before you interrupt, that is the long explanation to when people go, Sims, why the fuck did you call Tom Brady not a top 5 quarterback?
Right.
You go, context. I said it at this era when you look, he didn't he didn't win a Super Bowl for a decade, and he really wasn't playing that well.
No, it's what drives me crazy about you're not allowed to ever change the quarterbacks. Like, Von Miller was the best pass rusher in 2016. You know what? In 2017, he wasn't. But for some reason with the quarterback issue, you can't ever shuffle him. It's like Brady's won, and that's it forever, forever, forever.
All right, go for
I was just going to say that every once in a while we finish a segment, and I go, oh, boy, can't wait to hear what my Patriots friends are going to say tomorrow about this one. I suspect there's going to be a meltdown tomorrow.
Well, I don't know what the meltdown is. To me, I'm trying to,
You're giving him a ton of credit.
I'm trying to say the man is human, and he went through a part of his career where he struggled, and they were still going to the Super Bowl or losing AFC championship games. But to me, what I'm really trying to show is he's changed his game here the last 3 years. And to me, this is what makes him, of course, one of the greatest of all time. I mean, Peyton Manning couldn't do this. That's why Peyton Manning was throwing lollipops out there. They were benching him for Brock Osweiler.
It's not a career in which you go, he's always been the best. It's actually more impressive that he was
and then
lost
was
it
reborn.
and then got it back.
Exactly.
And that's a lot harder to do.
Yeah, extremely.
I am going to go on a rant in a second about the Eagles and this fanhood.
You want to do that first or call Phil?
We are about to be joined
we
by
can
Big
wait.
Phil.
Phil's in the car. We can make him wait.
They've already started calling him.
All right.
Big Phil, Phillin Time, at your face. He's going to be in the car?
I think so.
Oh,
we don't even know.
What's he driving?
He's probably got a driver. John, the driver.
Tim's here.
Oh, hey.
Hey, Big Phil, you driving or is John at the wheel?
Yes, that's right. We're in a big stretch limousine, and I'm having, a drink, some few other people in the car with me. It's all great.
It sounds just like when you dropped off Chris at Texas.
Wow, is that true? We weren't in a stretch limousine, were we, son?
No, well, you weren't there, Dad, so let's just... You didn't...
okay.
Yeah,
I always heard that story. I wanted to know if it was true or not. I go, oh, my God, please, we didn't do that, I hope.
No, we did not. We did not do that. It got overblown. Well,
that was so good.
I'll tell you the story some other time.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, seriously, are you in the car? Are you in the car and John's driving?
Yes, I am. I'm heading to New York to do something with the great Fit Fat Boomer Esiason.
Hey, Fit Fat?
Boomer, how you doing? Hey, man, I'm Fit Fat. I go, really? So I really, truly looked it up on my phone to see if there was such a thing. I said, Boomer, there's no such thing as Fit Fat. You're either fit or you're fat. But, whatever.
Do you know when...
But that's how he classifies himself because, he plays hockey, which I've seen many tapes of him playing hockey. And
playing hockey?
He's not a blazer on the ice, but gets a lot of goals because all he does is just sit in front of the goal by the goalie and, cherry picks and stuff.
I heard.
Puts his big old rear end on everybody. Well, you've heard all the stories because you played on the softball team. So, I'm sure we'll have.
I always wonder, Big Phil, if you know when you become like a big internet sensation, and it happened again this week where a video got put out of all of the members of the CBS Sunday crew talking to each other, except for Big Fucker. Excuse me, that's your new name. Big Phil sitting there by himself, and everyone's like, why isn't anyone talking to Phil Simms? And the question I have for you, Phil, is do you have friends? Do they hate you on the set? What's going on?
Oh, no, man, they love me. Come on, man.
I love you.
It's they call it I forgot what they call it, the shot. So usually they throw things at me for that shot. And I beg them, please, just don't. Let's act like we're talking So I didn't even know they were shooting a dumb shot. So I'm just sitting there thinking, okay, how am I going to start watching the game? I get all my computers up and all that stuff. That's what I was thinking. So when I saw the shot, I go, nobody even told me, well, whatever. So that actually became a sensation?
It got spread around the internet. Two things got spread around the internet this week. Wow. That and then the audio clip as they're going to halftime at Jacksonville-New England, a fan screams, Phil Simms is better than Tony Romo. And then that became a really popular internet clip.
Wow, man, I'm so out of it. I didn't know these things. So this happened right before halftime.
Right before halftime. They're going in.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, those fans. Now, look, that booth in New England, it
Yeah.
is close to the fans, and it is a great view. It's the best. It is. But you always got to stand back just a little so they don't see you because some of the things they can say, almost always it's nice. I mean, it has been for many, many years because they win so much. But also some of the other things that they could say, especially in this day and age, that you might respond to, and which I have been known to do. So I always sit back and people be, hey, Phil, and I go, is that going to be a good one or a bad one? And I'm not going to find out. So I just stay back.
I truly believe if Big Phil came down and they saw just how big he was, I think people would change their tune immediately.
Oh, they definitely would.
Well, you know.
Go ahead.
I really, surely, yes, you know, all the young guys, they, of course, as I walked around the building, hey, big effer. Yeah, okay, come over here. I'm going to hold my hand out and just run your face into it. I don't even want to use the energy to slap you across your head. And so,
yeah, your son called you big fucker.
Awful. And, you know, that's all they talked about. Hey, so I guess from now on at CBS, anybody that's under 40,
You're the big fucker.
Well,
yeah, big fucker.
Whatever you two started.
Where did we? No, Dad and I got this from a movie where we kind of started. What was that? What is the movie?
Oh, it's the Green Mile.
Green Mile. He's a big fucker.
When the
I
big
love
guy's
Green
behind,
Mile.
Yeah, he gets him from behind. Oh, where'd you come from, you old
big
Michael
fucker?
Clark Duncan, R.I.P.
You're exactly right.
Yeah.
That's who it was.
He's the actor that's up for Academy Award for 3 Billboards, I think it's called.
No, I think he
He's
passed
really
away.
good in it.
Did he pass
What's
away?
that?
I'm pretty sure
Adam
Michael
thinks
Clark
he passed
Duncan
away.
died.
Look
Yeah,
up.
he died.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the guy that said. Hey,
Oh.
I'm not talking about the guy in Green Mile.
Oh,
I'm talking
yeah,
about the
yeah.
guy that said the line.
Green
yeah,
Mile
yeah,
actually had a really good cast. Tom Hanks was in that movie.
He's talking about the crazy guy that was in jail. He's the one.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
you're right. He is in the new movie
He was
that I
awesome.
can't think
He's
of.
great in every movie.
Oh, he's awesome in the new movie, 3 Billboards, though. He kind of plays the character. It's a little offbeat, and he is great in it. I mean, I almost feel like he's playing the guy in the cell in the Green Mile. I mean, it's pretty good stuff.
What do you got
worth the watch.
What do you got for Pops?
Well,
Chris?
I mean, Dad and I haven't even talked about the championship games, like on what we've seen on film. So I don't know. Do you want to go there, Dad? Did anything that
Whatever you want, son. You know, it's that time of life where I have to listen to you. You know,
the actor, by the way, his name is
Sam.
Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell, that's right.
Well, what would be something you would want to talk to your dad about?
I think the thing that I want to talk about the Jags and the Patriots. I mean, that's
Well, first off, you know, he should listen to me more, Adam, because I had them both nailed. The games, it almost played out exactly the way I thought they would, said it would. But, you know, that's just one thing.
He was all over the Vikings-Eagle matchup. I will give him credit for it.
He said the Eagles were going to blow him out?
Well, he didn't say they were going to blow him out, but he really thought the Eagles were going to handle the Vikings. I'll give him that for sure. He said that early last week, and I was like, man, I don't know, Dad. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Big Phil, I picked the Eagles too. Your grandson apparently said he was going to go for the Vikings, and then after the game told your son, oh, I knew the Eagles were going to win. I was just rooting for the Vikings, Dad. So he's got the analyst rolled down.
Sounds like me. Oh, I love that. I like that. It's good.
All right.
It's good. You know, it is funny how you change your thoughts, and I do all the time.
All the time.
Inside the NFL, I would pick one team, and then by the time Sunday came around, I go, oh, my gosh, can I change those picks?
Right.
And almost every time I thought that, I was right,
Yeah.
especially during the playoffs. But that was the one thing I felt real sure about, is that the Eagles are just bigger, tougher, faster, whatever you want to say, than the Minnesota Vikings, and it proved out. Really, it proved out on both sides of the football.
It definitely did.
Well, go ahead. What about the Jags game? What do you want to say?
Well, I mean, okay. I mean, just to me, it's the most lopsided talent disparity in a game in the AFC Championship game that I've ever seen, and the team that was way less talented won the football game. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. I really haven't.
Well, I think you're right, and the one thing we did talk to each other, I think, as I was driving home,
Right.
is I just said, that was as excited as I've ever seen Bill Belichick.
Right?
And I said, you know why, don't you, Christopher? And
Yeah.
he said, yep, because he knew the other team on the other side was physically really, really good, and he has great respect, of course, for Tom Coughlin and Doug Marrone.
Right.
Now, that was year one of what they do.
Right.
And what we saw in the game was, to me, just simple. A team that can play 3 different ways on offense and defense against a team on the other side that can play one way on both sides.
Right.
And that just shows you, you always got to have a plan B and C in the NFL. And if you can't, then those type of things happen to you.
Right.
And as usual, the other thing is finally New England, Just keep throwing it. Change their passing attacks. Keep throwing it. Those defensive linemen, they can only rush the passer so many times. And that kind of happened to Jacksonville, too.
All right, so, the play into that a little bit, because you did bring up Philadelphia. Let's just have a quick combo about that, because, nobody in the universe is giving the Eagles a chance. And, of course, and listen, you put a gun to my head, I think you and I would probably pick the Patriots to win the football game. But
sure,
the Eagles are going to be the better team on the field. And for people to just think that the New England Patriots are going to go in there and just steamroll the Patriots because Brady and Belichick have won all these Super Bowls, I find it crazy. I would be shocked if this game isn't like really, really close with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Well, I think it's going to be a close game. The Eagles are every bit. Look, they're a match to the Patriots because the Eagles are a big football team.
Yeah.
Their defense, the thing is, it's almost back to Jacksonville. The one thing I loved about what the Eagles did, and Adam, you had to be happy, is their coaching on both sides of the ball was aggressive. The play calling, what they were thinking, how they went about it, the blitzing was awesome. Jim Schwartz just said, let's just go. And it seemed like everything they did was working, and you got to be able to do that. I kind of do a rant for CBS every week about a minute, and I said, you have to stay on top of New England the whole time. You got to take chances constantly. That's what they're about. And if you don't coach aggressively, then you're going to lose.
You're right.
Because you're going to lose. So you got to know that, especially in big games, because they're going to do it. And as Sean Payton, before the Super Bowl down in Miami, I'll never forget this, probably told you all this story. He's a Bill Parcells disciple, so they always believe in, man, you got to win big games. You got to go for it. You got to take some chances, and you can't be afraid to go down in flames.
Right.
So I know all this before we ever meet with Sean.
Right.
So we go in there, and he sits at the table, and the first thing out of his mouth, he goes, well, we got an onside kick in. We're going to use this. We're going to do this trick play. I got this. And he gets done. I go, I literally said, I can't believe you just said that to us. He says, I knew you were going to do this. That was going to be my opening monologue on the Super Bowl pregame. I was coming on with all this, and I can't say any of it because you just told us.
Yeah, that's why he probably told you, though, right? He said it because he knew you might say it. Maybe he knew you knew.
He probably did.
Right.
Over the years, though, Sean he's pretty aggressive in those production meetings.
Right.
One of the better guys when it comes to giving information. But I was so upset because he knew, too, that Indianapolis team was better than New Orleans.
Definitely.
And they won the game, really, I think, for one reason. One, it was aggressive coaching. They were waiting on the play for the interception, the Indy play.
Right.
They said, when it's tight, they're going to run it. And Greg Williams, D coordinator, I told my guys, if it's not that play, I swear I'll take the blame. You just go for it. And the other one was what?
Onside kick.
Oh, Dwight Freeney having the bad ankle. That ruined the game for the
He
Colts.
had the bad foot.
Right.
Early in the game, he was disruptive and ruining the game, and he had to leave, and that's when New Orleans just really tore him up after that.
Yep.
So.
All right, good stuff, Big
There we
Phil.
go.
Hey, enjoy your. Hey, Boomer! I never thought I looked good in green before.
Hey, you know what? Every time I say that, you know what I think of, don't you?
Green cash.
I'm taking that cash to the bank, brother. Just remember that.
I knew that. All right, see
See
you,
you,
Phil.
Phil. I'm
good
excited
talking
to
to
see
you,
you in
man.
Minnesota, bud.
Yep.
I'll see you guys up there. All right. Don't
All right,
screw it
Dad.
up before then. Okay.
We won't. Tell John I said hi.
And that is Phillin Time.
Oh,
with
so
Big
can I,
Phil.
just real quick with the Sean Payton thing.
Yes.
So that's Super Bowl. I knew they were going to kick the onside kick. He might be on
You
not
didn't
happy.
know when, second half or
I
first?
knew they were going to kick it. He told me because he goes, "Hey, Christopher, can't tell anybody here. Can't tell. Nobody. Can't tell anybody. The Saints are going to kick an onside kick in the game. The Saints. I think it might be the start of the second half. So
And you're like sitting on this like
I'm
information.
sitting on it. He told me maybe Saturday night, the night before the game.
Where'd
when
you
he's-
watch the game?
That game, I believe. Wait, where the hell was I for that game? I think I was in Denver, actually.
My only question is,
Yeah.
were you in a room full of people and turn around and go, hey, guys?
No.
Dollar bet.
No. If I had my choice, I like to watch Super Bowls by myself. I know that sounds weird.
I watched last year by myself. And it was one of the best experiences
exactly
I've
right.
ever had.
My kids sat there with me. My wife sat there, who's clueless and just looks up when they score a touchdown, and I got to enjoy the game. Yeah, I think I watched that game by myself. But
so when they lined up, you were like, oh shit.
But that reason is the reason why I don't ask my coaching friends questions sometimes that I may know the answer to that is controversially they don't want to get out there, because I don't want to know their answer, because I might be right already and I have a theory and I've connected enough dots and I know you personally.
If you get the information, you're going to feel guilty about it, or you don't want to share it.
Right. If he tells me, then I go, then they're going to be able to say, you burned me. I told you this. And I want to be like, well, fuck, I knew that already. I mean, I knew the 49ers were looking for trading a quarterback. I mean, so I didn't need to ask Kyle that question, or whatever it may be. You got to avoid those sometimes.
That's interesting.
Yeah. All right, sorry.
No, why the fuck do you apologize
I don't know.
after you drop fucking gems?
All right.
I have wondered for a long time whether or not I was genetically predisposed to being an over-aggressive, myopic, irrational, mean, and vicious fan. It's the plight of a Philadelphia fan.
Right.
I used to take pride.
Like when you tweeted out things about Doug Peterson last year.
Exactly. Fuck you. I used to take pride in people telling me, you're not a typical Eagles fan. I liked it. I was like, oh, yeah, you know what? I'm not. Like, I'm a little bit different. I'm a little bit more reasonable. I have spent this year watching weeks and weeks of Bills fans smash through fire tables and be called incredible fans, and I've reached a point where I'm tired of the bullshit, and I want you to know the truth. Philadelphia fans being bad is an insurmountable narrative based on confirmation bias that is an unrepresentative of the fan base at large, and it is agenda-driven.
Wow, that was like lawyer shit.
I am going to break down each of the things that I said. First, it being an insurmountable narrative. When you Google Philadelphia fans, the next suggestions that pop up are throw batteries, boo Santa Claus, fight, and worst.
That's what I think of. It's right at the top of the list.
The batteries thrown at JD Drew were from two fans, but now apparently it was raining down batteries.
Right.
Santa Claus happened in 1968, literally 50 years.
At the old UPenn Stadium,
and
right?
And people act like it was really fucking Santa Claus. Like Rudolph came down, they're like, it's Saint Nick.
Right.
If you've seen SantaCon, am I supposed to treat them with respect, drunk idiots? That's what it was in 1968. And they combined those two, like they threw batteries at Santa Claus.
It was 1968, though. Everybody was polite in 1968.
Shut the fuck up. The jail.
The battery.
Jail.
Yeah, go ahead.
The jail.
This is fun.
There was a jail in Veterans Stadium.
A courthouse.
Did you know that half of the NFL arenas have prisons equipped inside? In-house jails are now standard at new stadiums when they're built. Quote, all of our NFL facilities have some form of detention, but in Philadelphia, that's the only one that exists.
You guys were the first to have it. And you had a freaking judge in your basement. So you had a judge
there. And we're
there.
called the worst because we cheered the injury of Michael Irvin. I don't know if you guys have played fantasy football lately, but when someone gets injured, I've heard one every game where they go, oh, good.
Right.
I was up against him in fantasy.
Right.
But no, the Eagles fans are the worst because they did it one time.
Yeah.
Confirmation bias. I said that it's insurmountable narrative based on confirmation bias.
Big words.
Mike Clay of the Washington Post looked at average arrests per game. Philly is barely above the league average at 3.2. San Diego averages nearly 25 per game. The Giants average 23. The Jets average 22. The Raiders are at 18. The Patriots even average more at 5.
Yeah.
But the Eagles get the worst.
What's your average?
3.2 arrests per game.
I think you guys just have officers with a very high threshold.
But I also know this. It's confirmation bias because I know how the media works.
Yeah.
And I know a title that goes, Philadelphia fan, blah, 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 is going to click more. You know how I know? Because people at this company are like, I kind of hope Philadelphia gets in because I know they're going to do crazy stuff. They're leading to more of that confirmation bias. I said that it's based on it's not representative of the fan base at large. Let's talk about these other fan bases because they're so fucking clean and great. The 12th man in Seattle. I mean, these guys are the perfect fan. So perfect that they destroyed Pioneer Square and caused roughly $25,000 of damage to a 100-year-old glass archway known as the Pergola when they won the Super Bowl. All right, it's a little bit new. Let's go back. Let's go to America's team, Dallas Cowboys. I mean, these guys are rooted in tradition. When they won Super Bowl 27, a WFAA reporter said that in his 30 years of business, he has never been more in fear of his life. And on that day, as people vandalized and looted stores, threw bottles at other fans and police, mugged innocent bystanders, fired guns, and stabbed humans, but Dallas, so much better than Philadelphia. Maybe, you know what, Dallas, it's a little bit crazy. Let's stay in the same state. Let's go to Pennsylvania.
Well, we
Let's
don't
go
know
to
what you guys
Sixburg.
would do if you won a Super Bowl. We don't know what. We don't know the amount of
that
arrests
other
yet.
Pennsylvania city that has class. When they won in 43,
Right.
city officials said law enforcement had to respond to more than 400 emergency calls, arrested more than 100 people, and estimated the riots caused more than $150,000 worth of damages. I'm not bringing up the San Francisco and the paralyzation they had at a Giants game, the Boston death, Houston, Baltimore, every city. Yet these cities are never defined by their one moment because we condone it and we understand it because they won something. But every time Philadelphia greases a pole, we're the worst humans ever. We ride a dune buggy up the Rocky Steps and we're like, anarchy in the streets. Nothing happened. There were 6 arrests.
Right.
That was it. Nothing. And I said that is because it's agenda-driven. And whenever something like this happens, I ask myself, who benefits from this narrative? Other fans like to have one fan base as the disgusting, deplorable fan base because now their fanhood is suddenly civil. But the question I would ask is, why are you so angry? Why are Eagles fans so angry? If it's this big thing, why? If you go to a shelter and you go to buy a dog, and it starts snapping at humans, no one says, man, that dog was born angry and vicious and wild. No, they know that that dog was in an environment that they were treated poorly and they are conditioned to act like that. It is not genetic predisposition that Eagles fans are the fucking worst. It's because for 50 fucking years, all the other fan bases have treated us like shit. And they march into our city and they put clothing on the Rocky and they do skull on the step and they go, I don't understand why you're cursing at us, you disgusting
they did that?
fan. They did that.
That's fucked up.
Vikings fans came into the city and
Right.
did that. But no, we're discussing because we're yelling fuck you to somebody. That happens everywhere else. But when that video goes online as Philadelphia fans, oh man, it's the worst. I can't defend all the cursing, the beard throwing, the intimidation, the fights, of course not. But I also expect that out of all the other fan bases, and I don't get upset when I see it from them either, because it's not indicative of the bigger picture. Every fan base has dumb fans. If 70,000 people go into a confined area with alcohol and you go, none of you better act up, who's the idiot? The person who thinks that nothing is going to happen. I will say this to end. If the Eagles win, I believe that this is the pin in the balloon that releases the pressure. Because I really believe the fan base will calm down a little bit because it's nerves combined with stress, combined with anger, combined with hope. And that's a really dangerous spot. I think that when the Eagles win, when my Eagles win,
We're gonna see how bad your city is when you win.
the ring arguments are dead.
Right.
Being called losers will be silenced. And the question that you need to ask yourselves, fans of other fan base,
Right.
if they win, why are you so upset that they got the ring? It's not because all of a sudden you can't say it to them anymore. We are no longer the team that can be called shit and can be called losers and can be called deplorable. It ends.
Right.
And so it's like you've lost your loser.
Right.
And that's why Giants fans are so upset. But that would be my thing about Eagles fans. There are undeniably people in that fan base that I don't want representing it. But I've just spent so much of my life wondering, do I even want to support a team that's known for all this? And I just think that it's bullshit. I just think it's confirmation bias and it's inflated. And I understand that bad things have happened, but it's a narrative that you guys want that I don't think is real. That's just me.
Yeah, it is just you, because I think you're so fucking wrong on this one. It's not even funny. I mean, it's not even funny. It is what it is. They are. I think it's the greatness of your fans. I don't care. I like it. I'm from Jersey. I love it. It's awesome. Hey, fuck you. You're in our stadium. I hope you fucking lose. In fact, we're gonna dump our beer on you too, maybe. So, like. I get it, because it's not cool that everybody always like brings you guys up. You're right. There's a lot of issues. Like Boston fans are brutal too.
It's ridiculous.
And winning has not helped them.
No, they've
gotten you guys
worse.
are going to win, and if you guys win, I think you guys could get worse too. I think that's a possibility. I don't look at it as a negative. Like they're great. I like it. It's like no bullshit. Like Minnesota fans, what the fuck were you thinking? That's what I would say. Like, didn't you do your scouting report? Did you think you were going to walk into like section 111, row 25, and the Eagles fans are going to be like, "Hey, here's a bed of roses for you. Welcome to Philadelphia." I mean, get the fuck out of here. I don't care. I hope you guys win it, and I hope you get worse.
Minnesota's going to be crazy because Boston and Philly in one city combined.
Oh my gosh, it might be like a riot. It might be war.
I mean, me and my mom are going to fight somebody. It's going to be
the Lefkoes throwing down in the streets.
That was an awesome rant. You're right. There is bias.
Good job, Lefkoe.
Right.
Your fans as a
you
whole.
can admit bias, but also still admit that maybe our bad's a little bit worse than other people's.
I think you're like. I think the San Francisco-Oakland thing is a great, because there's some gang stuff there. There's gang stuff there. You guys don't have that going on in your stadium, but like out of the 70,000 that are in the stadium, 67,000 of them are going to go, "Hey, fuck you, you suck."
Right.
And I like that. I don't know. Now listen, your reputation
agree.
is just like, we should have asked my dad about this. Dad would have had great insight, because I believe he had a battery thrown on him before too. So it didn't just happen at the baseball game.
It's bullshit.
But
Phil Simms is not a reputable
I was
source.
not allowed to go to the Philadelphia games.
I know.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying it to you.
All right.
I know that it's an environment, and I know it's different. But I think really what you said there is, Vikings fans, what were you thinking?
What were you thinking? I mean, no shit.
I have a Cowboys fan that went to the game, and he had a really bad experience.
Right.
I have a group of friends
Did
that
he
are
wear
Giants
a Cowboys
fans.
jersey?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. I mean, great. You're stupid.
Well, they're going to say, why can't I wear my jersey to your stadium?
You can, but you just better be ready. I don't want to hear the complaining after, "Oh, they weren't nice to me." No shit. They're not on your side.
It's kind of like
don't wear the jersey. Don't put a fucking bullseye in your back, you idiot.
It's like when people wear, like back in the election, they're going to wear a Clinton shirt to a Trump rally and be like, "They treated me like shit."
Right.
I wonder why.
Yeah. No shit.
You're literally advertising, asking to be treated a certain way.
I mean, yes. I mean, my dad was the quarterback of the Giants.
And you look just like him.
If I didn't sit in the right section at home games of the Giants games, people were going to figure it out and go, "Hey, your dad sucks, Sims. Hey, little Phil, your dad can't fucking hit open receiver." So I had to always go sit to section 236, who understood our family, and they would protect us a little bit. But it's foolproof across the league.
Yeah.
You're right. It doesn't matter. And when you stick out and you're going opposite of the home team, yeah.
I just think my big thing.
I didn't know about the Rocky jersey thing. I mean,
dumb.
That's the rules are.
And the best thing is they weren't.
The rules are off.
The Eagles fans weren't going skull. They changed it to Foles. Foles. And Vikings fans were so mad. But look, here's the other side of the Eagles fan.
Yeah.
Mike Zimmer's foundation, a charity, announced that there has been a huge influx of charitable donations from people in Philadelphia because they believe that they didn't like how the Vikings were treated as they were leaving.
There you go.
But those stories don't get pub.
No, of course not.
You know, Chris Long donating his entire salary to the schools and selling all the shirts back and giving it back to the community. Connor Barwin, when he was there, building playgrounds. Those stories don't become
Did you see
national.
those quotes on that with Chris Long, what he said? That was awesome.
What Chris Long said about Malcolm Jenkins was, I guess people can do both things.
Right.
When you told Malcolm Jenkins to focus on football, no, we're in the Super Bowl, he could talk about racial injustices in America and also get us to the Super Bowl.
Right, and he said it right. He was like, when it's a controversial subject, then we have to focus on football. But if it's giving out turkeys or Thanksgiving, nobody ever talks about, "Oh, you're distracted. You should be worried about the game this weekend."
Yeah.
So, yeah, I thought it was awesome. Two of them together. And, hey, up your ass, Philadelphia. I hope you win it.
Was that a compliment?
It was Philadelphia style.
Well, that was Philip.
My
Philip.
little boy, yes.
Philip. Up your ass, Philadelphia. Let's go extensive game notes.
Okay.
Chris Sims locked himself into a room, and he's watched a lot of film, and we're going to start off with Eagles-Vikings.
Okay.
First thing that jumps out is the ferociousness of the Eagles front four.
I I don't know why. It's amazing TV, just watching the game. I mean, I knew you guys won the battle up front, but even like early on in the game where I was like, oh, the Vikings were kind of controlling. No, they weren't. They were never controlling. It was never. I was wrong. The line went back the whole time. They had a few good game plan things to move the ball early on, but you guys are fucking killers.
You noticed this at the end of the game when Fletcher Cox yelled at someone for getting a personal foul penalty, but you also wrote it earlier in your notes. Fletcher Cox, highest paid guy on the team, has to play like this. Hustle, play hard to lead team, was around the ball every play.
Yeah, I mean, that's why the team is giving you that investment. They're expecting you not only to be the best player on the team, but the example setter and what you do through that. And that's how teams get better from that. They will get better because they're going to go, damn, our best player does everything, and he's been rewarded for it. So maybe if I can do everything and work hard, somebody will reward me too. And those are what leaders do of a football team. A la, like I think I wrote Marcel Darius, right, with the Buffalo Bills. Why did they want to ship his ass out of town? Hey, the fattest, laziest fucking guy on our team was getting paid the most and not playing that great. We got to get him out of here. It's not good for the new culture of the head coach to go, hey, yeah, we'll let you play like crap just because you're paying a lot of money and don't show up for meetings. No problem, rest of the guys. So that's why.
You said the pick six changed the game, and on that pick six, you wrote horrible technique from the right tackle Hill. And also, Keenum was 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage. That won't happen because Brady only goes 6.5. But
You're right.
The right tackle was the issue that we thought he would be, huh?
He really was the issue, and he got himself in those positions where it looked like he was playing like defense in basketball. You know, you and I have laughed about those guys in the draft process coming out where we're like, what's he doing? Is he playing point guard, guarding a point guard here, or is he blocking somebody?
Yeah.
It was the same thing, and yeah, it just gave Chris Long a two-way go, and when you have bad technique like that against good pass rushers, you're going to give up an edge.
You also wrote on that strip sack that Derek Barnett had, you said, I hate that this pass pro is not realistic. 4-man rush, waste of pass protection.
4-man rush, 6-man pass protection. First of all, why? Like, Tom Brady's not going to waste 6 blockers on 4 people. He's going to go, man, I know they're only keeping 4 pre-snap. They're only so let's change this
add
and
another weapon
let's get
out
another
here.
guy out there. They don't do it. Added to the fact that they ask a guy again. It's like you and I have always said before too. Like on the chalkboard, we got him blocked. See the
By
red
a tight end.
The tight end. We blocked. We drew a line and he blocks it. This is gonna work. Yeah, until they get out there in pads, like everybody, like, you know, it's the old Mike Tyson saying, like, everybody's got a game plan and they get punched in the face. Like, yeah, good luck. They asked them to block the left D end from the right tight end position and come across and block him man-to-man. That's not realistic. That's when I start to lose, like, my sympathy for you for losing a game.
You wrote, really hard to key in on Eagles' running game. They pull centers and guards, and when you combine that with the run-pass option, it makes it very tough.
It really makes it tough. This is going to be my most favorite thing to watch in the Super Bowl is what Belichick comes up with in these 2 weeks to defend what we're seeing the Eagles do. The Eagles are doing some groundbreaking stuff, I think.
Really?
I don't think there's a lot of teams in football that are doing like double run schemes on each side of the line of scrimmage.
What does that mean?
Like you might be pulling your left guard and your center to go run left, but your right side blocks a different play, and you could run the ball right if you want to, or even throw the ball off it.
So it's not customary to run block for 2 different runs on the same play.
It's not. It's not. But you're stressing the defense in such a way where...
And it's hard to key in on anything, like you said, because are you going to follow the guard going that way or the center going that way?
Exactly right. So to me, this
he's
is
going to find some.
This is the issue with the Vikings.
He's got 2 weeks.
The Vikings just, they were kind of like, oh, we're the Vikings, and this is what we do, double A gap, and we're going to play 3 deep man or 3 deep zone, like whatever it may be.
And when you play a team that plays the same thing every week, you know what they're keying on, and you can fuck with that.
Exactly right. And that's what you guys did to them. And it's going to be interesting. I'll just be interested to see the approach. Like, I don't think you can't play you guys man-to-man. That's the big issue.
Right.
Because if you're going to play man-to-man and, he's man-to-man on the tight end, and
we have too many weapons.
It's man-to-man, but he's worried about his run fake, and, all the flows going one way. Oh, shit, the tight end came out the back door.
Right.
I was worried about the run coming at me. I didn't keep my eyes on the tight end for that split second. Now he's on the other side of the field. So you're going to have to be smart about situations, personnel, and how you want to defend it. And to me, I mean, without getting X's and O's, you got to play under front, you got to play zone coverage underneath, and you're probably going to have to ask your corners to do some stuff on the outside, man-to-man wise. I'm not going to get too in the weeds with this. I can draw it up for you later. But
speaking of Eagles O-line, you wrote Vaitai was great.
Vaitai was great. There was never really a moment in that game where you guys weren't in control up front. I mean, never. I mean, it was a massacre.
Yeah, you wrote Eagles' offensive scheme took away the only advantage Vikings D-line had.
Yes, because of like that confusion we talk about getting a key.
They couldn't be aggressive.
They couldn't be aggressive. Everson Griffin couldn't just go, oh, I'm going to turn the corner on Vaitai. He was always going, damn, there's a guard pulling. Oh, shit, they're throwing a screen. Wait, it's a play-action pass. Oh, he's all over the place, so they can't tee off.
You also said the Eagles' defense was very good against bunches and stacks, which is super important for New England.
It is, yes. You have to be able to...
what did they do well?
Well, they just had the right way of playing the zones
and
to have people
people
passing it off. Right. You know, if New England finds a flaw in your bunch packages, there's nobody that's got more ways to kind of cross you up with three guys in a bunch.
That's what scares the shit out of me.
Yes, but I think Schwartz this is where the greatness of Schwartz. Schwartz was going, he knows that. He's going to have stuff there, and they will defend that and not let them have those easy completions.
Yeah, you got a little nervous, it sounded like. You liked Schwartz's aggressiveness, but you were like, man, that's really dangerous if he tries that against
You're
New
just
England.
going to have to be crazy.
It worked against Minnesota, you wrote, maybe he could sense that they had the more strength.
I think so. I think because he kind of came out semi-conservative. You guys got the pick 6, and I think he was kind of like, okay, we've been pushing them around up front.
Right.
I gave them some easy completions by telling my secondary to play off the first 2 drives. I'm going to go for the kill now. And he did, and it paid off.
You also wrote that you love the Eagles' 3 tight end sets.
I really do, and I think it's going to be a weapon for them. I mean, you know,
it's great for
our man Burton and Selleck, of course, are extremely tough
Burton kept
matchups.
his feet in. He's a great player.
That was stupid. But regardless, yes, I think that is a look that will stress New England, because New England right now is in a part where they're not as big as in years past, and to stop the power run game is like a true issue for them.
That's what I'm so excited about.
Yeah. No, you guys pose
it's
some
rare
definite...
that an Eagles team is the team with the better power running game. It's been a long time since I've been able to say that.
Yeah,
like there's only been like instances with Deuce Staley. But even like LaShawn McCoy was not a power running game.
No, it was not. It was a spread team, get them in space, you know, a few in between the tackles runs, but you're right.
It was crazy to me to see in your notes that a team that won 38-7, quote, it was more of an ass whooping than it looked like on TV.
Yes.
Because it looked like an ass whooping on television. So you left the film going, man, Philadelphia's good.
Last thing I want to say about that game, and I wrote it, and you might have not saw. I just wrote this because I've heard a lot of people talk, and you know, of course, we had people in our office that maybe they should start Nick Foles next year.
Oh my God.
Okay, so yeah. All right, this is what I want to say, and I wrote this at the top, and I didn't know if you saw it, but I wrote 11 Wentz allowed team to get better.
I didn't know what you meant by that. You wrote Wentz allowed the team to get better.
The Wentz factor is what's brought your team to this moment. This is what franchise quarterbacks could do, and that's what he did at certain points of the year where you guys weren't quite playing the way you are right now, but he got you wins because he made amazing plays or whatever else and waited for the team to catch up, to gel all together. And right now, between him getting injured, I'm sure put a little fire under everybody's ass, but your team game right now is, you know, so much better than it was in week 7 of the season. Then it was still like, damn, we see glimmers of they can be awesome, but oh, man, they've messed up a few plays. But, oh, Wentz bailed them out. He made an amazing scramble or an amazing throw on 3rd and 11. Right now, you're clicking on all cylinders, and then you just have the quarterback that's taking advantage and bearing the what do you say?
Bearing the weight.
The weight or the fruits. What did I want to say?
Oh.
Fruits of labor.
Yes,
enjoying
exactly.
the fruits of his labor.
Exactly, something like that.
Let's go to Patriots-Jaguars. You wrote, the Patriots are in bear front almost every play. They have to play man-to-man because they're afraid of the run. You like the game plan by the Jaguars. When they see man-to-man, it's a screen or a boot. When it's zone, they run up the middle.
Yep.
And you wrote, if Bortles could really throw, this would have been a blowout.
Yes. They were... You know, again, the game is. This is where I've started with the whole Jacksonville Bortles thing. The game is managed for Jacksonville to not let Bortles screw it up. I mean, I'm sorry, those are just the simple facts of the matter. It really is. And yes, I mean, New England was in such a bind in this game, and as I said when my dad was talking, I don't think I've ever seen a championship game where the talent disparity was this big, and the team that was the lesser team won. I mean, Jacksonville, like I said on Monday, if you tried to make the perfect team out of the Jags and the Pats, you would take 18 Jaguars and 4 Patriots. You'd get Brady, Gronkowski, I'll give you Shaq Mason and Devin McCourty. And let me just tell you, that's really close to even giving you that because, like, Gibson is really good.
Yeah.
And, like, that just my point being is New England was in such a bind because of the power run game. They were like, oh, shit,
right.
What do we do? And yet when they bunched them in there too much, it was, oh, here you go, tight end 4 yards from me or back in the flat. And then they were like, oh, fuck, we had everybody in there for Fournette, and they were just on the edge for a 3-yard pass that ended up a 12-yard gain.
You said that you wrote just Bortles missed so many open, shallow crosses and so many throws. He didn't get off his first read a lot that you wrote in your notes.
Right.
But you also said the Patriots' second-half defense, they changed it up.
They did.
Double 3 techniques, linebackers coming downhill, blitzing stunts. What was their answer? At halftime, I looked at you and said, what did they do?
Yeah.
Because they're getting their ass kicked. What did they do?
They didn't do as much bear. The double 3 technique, like, so they really have a big gap in the middle of their, like, nobody's on the center.
So the
and
area
nobody's on
between
the outside
guard, center, and guard was completely
empty. They played like basically 2-3 techniques, and yes, they were a little more aggressive, what you don't see New England do. New England's usually a let's stand the blocker up and try to read the play and disengage when the play gets by you. In the second half, I felt like they said, hey, like Landon Roberts, if you see the hole, fucking run through it and hit Fournette in the hole. Like,
Don't
no
wait.
more waiting. And the same thing with the D lineman. And there was a few times where I feel like they played some single gap defenses and just said, Trey Flowers, like, fake him out, go inside, disrupt the play, like, stop trying to read it on the run. And they did a little bit more of that and created a little more chaos for Jacksonville on the offensive side of the ball.
What did Bortles play better or worse than you thought he did on Sunday?
Be honest.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was probably a hair worse than I thought on Sunday. You know,
Yeah, what did the film show you?
well, the film just shows, again, like I said, the game is managed around just trying to make Bortles adequate, right? I mean, and then I think the other thing that just, of course he missed throws. Not only the wheel to Fournette at the end, sure, there was wheel route in the first drive of the game where T.J. Yeldon's going down the left sideline. If he just throws it out there, he's going to run for a 70-yard touchdown. But it's the other things, too, where he's got tremendous pass protection, and he just runs up in the pocket and tries to throw to a shallow cross. And no, just sit there like Brady. Watch Brady. He shuffles in the pocket. You got nobody around you. Like, forget that shallow cross that you want to throw to because that's your, like, comfort zone. It's your little blankie he wants to throw to. But, damn, the in-cut behind it's going to be a 20-yard gain if you just wait and there's nobody around you to get to you. Those are the little things that I look at and go, man, they had them by the balls, and if they had a quarterback that you can consistently throw with, that New England would have been in deep shit.
Let's go to New England's offense, Jacksonville's defense. I'm going to read 5 or 6 things that Sims wrote that show you what he thinks about this defense. Miles Jack can cover Amendola, no problem. Ramsey over slant tackles Hoyer. Holy shit, he's incredible. Pat's running backs are so outclassed, it's hilarious, and they know it too. Red zone, Jacksonville doubles Gronk and funnels the backs. Only Jacksonville can do this. They almost respected New England's wide receivers too much. On the flea flicker, holy fuck, Miles Jack is awesome. 20 and 21 are too good. Play the ball. Last touchdown throw would have been to Cooks, but Ramsey was on him. Anyone else and Brady would have thrown it. And you underlined, I love the Jags.
Yeah.
So you left this game and just went, holy fuck, their defense is great.
I love them. I mean, the only mistake they made, I love watching the Jags. You know that. I got my man crushed. The only mistake I really think they made on the defensive side of the ball is the fact that I do think there was a few snaps where I just said, man, Ramsey and Bouye should be up in the face of Chris Hogan and Brandon Cooks. They can't get open against them if they ran 100.
They did give a cushion in the fourth quarter.
They gave too many. And there was a few other times where Brady threw like some deep comebacks and things like that. And I just want to be like, why? Well, you shouldn't even give it to them.
They really were giving it to them.
Yeah, they were. They were, I think, a little scared of the scheme if New England had something up their sleeve, so they gave him some completions there. I don't even know where to start. Miles Jack was so unbelievable.
You wrote about him more than anybody.
He was unbelievable. What he was asked to do, I'm sure he got some negatives in grading and everything because he's asked to cover slot receivers man-to-man, and he was put in positions that literally no linebacker in football could even think about doing, and he did it. But he was amazing. I mean, Jalen Ramsey with me saying like it was the first drive of the game when Brady on the 4th down throws the pick play for the big, they go down, they kick the field goal. So they had the 3rd and 2 before that. He's got a slant flat to the right. Gronkowski's on the outside and Gibson's on him. Hogan's in the slot. Jalen Ramsey's on him.
So Gronk's going to come across and kind of pick him.
He's really not. They're really trying to throw the slant, but as the ball snapped, Ramsey sees him, and I think he's afraid I might get picked here, and he goes over the top of it. It's 3rd and 2. He's going over the top of a 4-yard or 5-yard
It's
slant.
like going behind a screen against J.J. Redick.
Right.
Like,
So
what are you allowing?
He goes behind. Brady throws a perfect laser football to Chris Hogan. And when Chris Hogan catches it and turns around, guess who's back? Jalen Ramsey's there. Bam, no yards. I mean, that's the shit that is just mind-blowing to me watching that game.
When you finished watching the film of this,
Yes.
were you more or less impressed with Tom Brady?
Oh, was I more or less impressed?
Because you were very
I
impressed.
was very impressed. I don't think it changed me. I think the game was really every bit as good as I thought it was watching on TV. Like he was phenomenal. There was nothing there to be had. And Jacksonville is just so fucking good. It's unreal. Brady saw defenses in this game that I promise you he's never saw it. He's like, are they on the 9-yard line, have no safety in the middle of the field, and they're doubling Gronk, and they're doubling my back out of the backfield, and just going to leave everybody else man-to-man in the end zone? Oh, shit, nobody's open. I'm going to get sacked. I mean, that's how great they are. They could do things. They could play Tom Brady like defenses play Blake Bortles, except this is the Jags, and it's a whole different animal. But, yes, it's just I really enjoy watching it. And I'm going to stand by my whole 70th quarterback, whatever, and just say that if they get Kirk Cousins next year or a quarterback that can be adequate from the pocket, they are going to win the Super Bowl. They are going to win it.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
What is today? It is January 24th.
Kirk Cousins and Alex Smith. Like you'd be willing to say that if Alex Smith was under center?
Man, I'd be willing to say if they had Mike Glennon, they're going to the Super Bowl. I mean, this is why I've been doing the Lebitard show every day. I mean, this is what I'm trying to say to everybody. Like, if they had a semblance of a drop-back pass game that scared defenses, they would be unstoppable. You'd be just unreal.
And they'll have Allen Robinson back.
Right.
Yeah. Nick, if you got to go, it's cool. Just keep it on this shot. If you got to run, I'm just going to go through iTunes and we'll shut off the recording. All right, so let me just do iTunes reviews. I thought your notes were awesome. I thought your praise, it was all praise for Jacksonville. And, I mean, New England did what they had to do.
New England they just out-scheme you. Don't mess up any situations. I mean, just Jacksonville did everything they could do to win that game. This really should be the game to really, but people are going to go, see, this is the reason you keep Blake Bortles. Look, they almost beat him. No, it's the exact opposite. Everybody has it totally wrong. This is the reason you don't. The game went perfect for you, Jacksonville, and you still lost by 4. Like, this is why you have to make the change. It couldn't have gone any better. Like, this was the exact, like, here, Jacksonville, if you want to win the game, this has to happen. And it all happened. And they still couldn't do it. So that, to me, it's the opposite of what everybody's saying. Everybody's going, well, maybe they got to bring him back now. Look, got him in the AFC Championship game. He's pretty good in that game. No, it's the opposite. They need a quarterback to get them over the hump to win these games when maybe they have to play a greatness of a Brady and Belichick again.
I really want someone to Photoshop you on top of Mugatu when he's like, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. The piano key necktie, I invented it. All right, let's get to iTunes comments. Me and I. Awesome. This is the best football podcast I found this year. It made the season so enjoyable. Great job. Conk7, the podcast is the bar. Sims, thank you for gifting us your analysis. Your work ethic shows through in every pod. Not only do you provide quality content on a consistent basis, you're entertaining. Lefkoe, you little flower, you. This is my first full year listening to the pod, and your progress is astounding. You've gone from charismatic fan to charismatic analyst. Your increased knowledge of the game and statistical research does not go unnoticed. Lefkoe, congrats on the Eagles. Mad love. Sam Conkey, a.k.a. the guy who put Lefkoe's face on the mush. Hashtag Lefkoe's no longer the mush.
Yeah. Eat that.
Wide right.
Wide right.
Give me wide right.
Oh, my God. I'm going to lose my shit if that happens. Eagles confidence rising. This is AAG 1983. Foles just hit Smith for a touchdown on the flea flicker. Ooh. I imagine Lefkoe is deep into a tequila bender by now. Love the show, boys. Keep it up.
That was a great throw.
He played amazing.
He did.
TJ's back tat. Go Birds. Eagles get revenge. Adam and the rest of us Philly fans are insufferable forever. Go Birds.
Eagles. Eagles.
Todd C. Comment is called Take My Spleen. Chris's aunt was my Sunday school teacher in the early 90s, so I have no chance but to support this podcast. The combination of Jersey guy and Eagles fan is right up my alley, so I enjoy these guys together. Pay attention, and you might learn something from this former NFL quarterback.
My aunt.
You got an aunt?
I do got an aunt.
Wendy?
I mean, Wendy definitely wasn't leading Sunday school. I know my Aunt Wendy. I can tell you that. I'm guessing it's my uncle's ex-wife, Judy Baker. That's what I'm guessing it is.
JB. Ball Coach 71. This is a good one. From a Division I college football coach to all the listeners out there, these guys are the best in the business.
Wow.
Really good insight and common sense. They don't get fooled by the numbers. The show is also hilarious, like two guys at a bar sometimes. Keep it up.
That's awesome. Who was that guy? What was his name?
Well, I investigated.
You did.
It's Nick Saban. He loves it.
What
what
type
was
of paper is this on?
Max printed it. It's
Good
like
paper.
tablets. I feel like it's the
Damn.
10 Commandments.
Yeah, there goes 10 oak trees in Brazil. Just
Thanks,
done.
Max.
Thanks. Good job. Way to go, Max. Max, email him the next time like you did me.
No, I'm going to print it out. Do you know why we did this? I'm in Brady's head. These are Giselle's trees. Just kidding. That's fucked up. Save the environment. AOH926, Alec O. Proud to say that I was the one that suggested that you should go on Pardon My Take. Now you're actually doing it, and I'm psyched to listen to it. It's going to be great. You went on because Alex submitted that, right?
Spoiler alert, it was. Great. It was a good interview.
Thanks.
It was. You did great. Now we have some random ones. Stephen Grand, congrats and thanks. First, Adam, as a Vikings fan, let me congratulate you and your Eagles on the Super Bowl berth. Second, I wanted to thank you and Chris for the respect you have shown the Vikings all season. I felt we went overlooked by other national media for the most part. As you can tell from other reviews, you guys do a great job. And definitely recommend it for an avid fan. I'm hoping to catch you guys at Radio Row at the Mall of America one of the days. What days are you going to be there? Steven from Minneapolis. We are going to start on Radio Row Tuesday.
Correct.
We'll be there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, which means we will be having podcasts for you Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I guess Saturday. And what we're going to do is we're interviewing at this point like 30 to 40 guys.
What day are you guys getting in?
Sunday.
Sunday.
Okay, good.
But we're starting on Tuesday.
Okay. What are
But-
you guys going to do Monday?
I'm fucking chilling.
Set up.
Fuck you guys.
Yeah,
What
work
are you
to do.
doing?
I gotta do, pro football talk in the morning.
I am. By the way, watch Pro Football Tech next week because I am going to get up and I'm making signs and I'm going to go behind Sims.
You really should.
I'm
That's gonna
going
be
to.
awesome.
I'm going to write Sims secretly loves Bortles. Like that'll be my signs. I'm so excited to do it. Sad Bucks fan, Doug Peterson. Love the show. Known Lefkoe since he was in Louisville. Wanted to know Sims' thoughts on the game plan by Peterson. It looked like on first and second downs is where the Eagles took their chances, but third is where they asked Foles to hit easy throws and reads such as swing routes, screens, and flats.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the game plan was really perfect. They kept them off balance. I had a hard time getting a feel for what the Eagles are doing. I sat there and, that's what I do with every game. I just go, oh, okay, what do I expect here? They've been doing this all game. The RPO thing, the double run calls to both sides, and then really third down, the biggest thing to me, I think I wrote it, like the pass protection was out of this world. I mean, think about some of the third down passes, Lefkoe, like even like he's pumping and then he's moving around and nobody's really near him and then he loads up again to throw a deep ball. Like I timed a few of the plays. Like I think I wrote it in my notes. There was the touchdown pass to Alshon Jeffrey before the half. He had almost 6 seconds. I mean, my stopwatch went to like 5.87 or whatever it was. I mean, that's unbelievable against the Vikings D.
That's crazy. Tum Fay, Pat's Jags reaction. Love the podcast. My kids got me on BR, and I return the favor regarding your podcast. Couple things. Kristen, listen to your dad in Lefkoe. It's Tooney, not Thuney. Jesus. Also, Waddle likely out, Cam at right tackle. Lastly, I too respect and admire your boy Aaron Rodgers. However, he's going to be 35 minimum when he gets his second Super Bowl.
Probably.
Enough with Rodgers over TB12. Oh, and we'll stop the run. Zero doubt. Good luck, Bortles. Lefkoe, totally agree. He'll turn it over. Go Pats. John Utterman, Bellingham, Mass.
Well, they didn't stop the run that good.
They didn't.
But, okay. Either way.
Took a shot at Rodgers.
Yeah, that's fine. Listen, again, I don't really, again, yes, Tom's awesome. Tom Brady, to me, like, I think the thing that I've come to my mind is he's Derek Jeter. He has the clutch factor that's through the roof, but he's not the greatest shortstop that ever played football. And that's the way I feel about Tom Brady. Is it okay to be Derek Jeter? Because, like, people get mad at me when I say shit like that. Like, no, he's got to be number one. He's got to be the greatest of all time. No, sorry, he's not.
Derek Jeter's an amazing comparison because he's the same way off the field.
That's
too.
just to me that's what it is. I've been thinking about it, and that's what I thought.
LeJune Watson, Sims and Lefkoe. I'm back and still in love. The podcast has been difficult to listen after the heartbreak of the Saints season, but I kind of want Bortles to ball out and take the Super Bowl with his arm. That would be awesome.
I listen. There was a big part of me. Of course, I knew I was going to take a lot of shit if Jacksonville got to the Super Bowl because it was going to be indefensible. You know, how he's in the Super Bowl. He's got to be one of the best quarterbacks in the game.
Collins 426. Excellent analysis. You always say Devin McCourty doesn't get enough credit.
Yeah.
Do you think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame for his role in the Pats during this run? Will he get that kind of recognition?
You know, I do think he will eventually. I do. I do think he is a Hall of Fame caliber in that conversation safety. I really do.
Wow.
And again, you know, all you can really do in New England is just look. Did they pay him? Yes, they paid him. That means they think he's good. I mean, you know, we talked about this last week. Belichick doesn't talk about anybody being good, except for the guys that aren't going to be paid or aren't going to be free agents. Like, what did he say? What did he say this week? He said Patrick Chung is one of the best defensive players in football. Right. The guy that's being paid nothing, that's probably got another year left on his deal there. That's just the way Belichick is.
Michael Shepard, 1013, best podcast ever. He says we opened his eyes to how to watch football in a completely new light. He lives in Oklahoma. He's a Giants fan. His dream is to work in an NFL front office one day and hopefully become a GM. He wants the Giants to trade back with the Jets to get more picks. If quarterbacks go 1 and 2, they could get Bradley Chubb, Minka Fitzpatrick, Saquon Barkley, Quentin Nelson. Thoughts on that? We are going to do more of that in draft season. Let's get through the Super Bowl first, and we're going to literally break down every team.
They don't need Bradley Chubb. I know that. They got JPP and Olivier Vernon. They need a quarterback, just so you're out there right there. And I'm just saying, because I had to do an article yesterday about the quarterback carousel, which drove me fucking crazy by Bleacher Report. We want to know where all the quarterbacks are. Free agency hasn't started, and the Super Bowl hasn't happened. We don't even know who the offensive coordinator is with some of these teams yet, but tell us who the quarterback is. So I did that, and I got into some of the draft shit too. I'm just going to tell you, the draft is going to be interesting, and I think it's going to be, they're going to be at least 4 quarterbacks in the top 10. I really do. When I look at it, I'm just saying that right now.
Josh Rosen, Sam Darnold, and Baker Mayfield.
Very much so. And you could see 6 quarterbacks in the first round this year. I just think I haven't dove into Lamar Jackson's going in the first round.
Who's the other one?
And then the Mason kid from Oklahoma State's going to be in the conversation. I haven't dove in. But I'm just
Lamar Jackson's going in the first round.
I think so, yes. When you can throw and run like that, as long as he can speak English, then he's going to be playing, and he's going to be the first round. If he goes, he got to go to like the Chargers and sit behind Phillip Rivers for a year.
He also asked for any advice for a young gun trying to become a GM eventually.
If you want to be a young gun, first of all, the hard.
He's 18.
Yes, 18. All right, buddy. The biggest thing is the path you need to do. It's hard to get in the door with an NFL franchise. So what you need to be doing from here on out, I know after you go to college and get educated, is that you have to go to Senior Bowls, you have to go to East-West Shrine games, you have to go to the Combine, and you're going to have to start networking yourself with NFL coaches, NFL personnel. And I would really say if you get to college, you need to go be a graduate assistant for maybe a good college football team. If it's not a good one, whatever, but still get some experience to at least go, hey, I've been in this football thing and I know how some of the workings work.
And I'm going to pass this along too. I went through the DMs yesterday for multiple social accounts, and we have dozens of young people saying, I want to be your intern. I want to work for you. I don't have experience. What can I do? This is kind of from Gary Vaynerchuk. Add value. I don't control internships here. I'm going to try and figure out some stuff that we can do, but I don't even know if we have internships for this podcast. But when you contact someone and say, teach me, I'm going to tell you I'm busy as fuck. And I'm not saying no. I'm just saying that when I contacted people when I was a younger person, I provided value. Hey, I went through and I did this, this, and this, and this, and I was wondering if I could pick your brain. Oh, shit, this kid did work for me. I'm going to do that. Hey, I looked up this, this, and this. If you are willing to help people, they'll help you back. But I don't think people realize that when you say, hey, can I have a quick phone call? Hey, can you send me an email? I am spending so much time on work that I don't have time to do a 45-minute phone call.
It's like when
but I do have time if someone showed me that they were willing to take time to help me.
Right.
And that's just life shit.
It's life.
That's not Sims and Lefkoe, like that's how you get an internship, because I'm telling you I don't think we have one. I'm just telling you, when you contact people for coaching, broadcasting, don't say, hey, can you tell me if I can have your job? No, provide something to get something back.
I agreed. I learned that lesson in New England when I went up there and coached because I wanted to be like, wait, offensive coaches, I don't know what this play is. Can somebody tell me? And George Gotze, who was kind of my head, boss, the tight ends coach, he threw the big playbook at me. Fucking figure it out yourself. I don't got time to fucking teach you the offense.
I know.
Like, you got to figure it out yourself. So I'd be like, oh, okay, let me flip through. What do we call this? Nobody taught me New England's offense. I knew some of it through Josh, but the rest of it I just had to learn on the fly.
Yeah. And then you provide
And then I
value.
provide the information from there.
All right,
They
two
thought
more.
I was worthless the first 2 months I was there.
Most interns and PAs
they thought
are
I
the
was
first
worthless.
fucking 2 months. Two more. Kansas City and Mahomes here from Zach Attack. Listening since the first episode.
Whoa.
I love you guys and everything you talk about. I honestly listen to you guys and then go to another podcast just to see how little the other guys know. I'm a Chiefs fan. I want to know what you think our offense can be like with Mahomes, and also how do we fix our pathetic D?
Oh, man, your offense, I think, look at Carson Wentz and what he did with the Eagles this year. I think you're going to be similar around there, right? Except that, Mahomes, he has even a bigger arm than Carson Wentz. Mahomes is going to be able to make throws that really, I'm telling you, only number 12 in Green Bay can make. I saw enough of that just in Week 17 in the Broncos game you and I watched, Lefkoe. You watched it before I did, and you were like, dude, you're going to see some throws from Mahomes. And I turned on the film, and I was like, oh, my gosh. He is unreal, superstar, and I think that offense with him and Tyreek Hill and Kelsey is going to get a lot more vertical.
Defense, they need to get more linebackers. They probably need more depth on the defensive line, add a pass rusher, even though they had a lot of injuries. And then the secondary, I don't know if it's a scheme thing, but they need to stop playing 10 yards off the ball every time.
Yeah, they gotta shore up some things on the defense side. They need an overall, I think, hauling of their philosophy a little bit.
Last one, this is P. Borda 11. If you want real football talk with excellent humor, this is the pod. I've been a loyal listener since 20. Love the pod more than life itself. They break down football like no one else. Sims, I downloaded Pardon My Take to listen to your segment. You're the fucking man.
Thanks,
All
man.
those dudes do is joke, and the guys that look at the box score to tell if a player had a good game or not. Way to not let them get to you, and loved how you didn't back down from their BS comments. Sims, I need some advice. I'm heading to Austin for a long weekend in a couple months. I need some recs on some good food spots and things to do. Let's start there.
Okay.
Red Fez.
Red Fez is the old place. I don't know if it's still there. All right, so 5th Street, you're going to see your more distinguished crowd, maybe not quite as much of you're going to see the older college kids and the guys that have just got out of college. A little more fun there, a little more of a mature lady, if you know what I mean. Okay, 6th Street, you're going to see the true college, just absolutely debauchery, fucking drunk idiots, everything.
It is. It's like a bar playpen.
Yes.
They're like, if you stay on the street, you're
Right.
fine.
What? You're 17? You can come in our bar and drink, no problem. I think
Best restaurant.
Our best
What's
restaurant.
the best restaurant in
Okay,
Austin?
the best restaurant. Go no farther than the airport. Okay. Yes.
Ruby Tuesdays.
No, it's Salt Lick. Salt Lick is the best barbecue in the state of Texas. It's
at the
about
airport.
30 miles outside of Austin, the real place. It's like at a farm. So if you want to go there, that's awesome. But like I said, it's about a 30-minute ride outside Austin. But they have a place at the airport.
Nice.
And you need to go get the brisket sandwich. You better. You're missing out on life. Before 9/11, I used to drive to the airport to go eat at Salt Lick.
That's
and then
amazing.
9/11 happened, and you weren't allowed to go through the scanning anymore without a ticket.
Yep.
But teammates and I would be like, where are you guys going? We go, going to the airport. Salt Lick.
Final question from him. He's a big Eagles fan. He's hoping Wentz comes back and regains his form. I've heard some people say BS like Wentz is going to turn into RG3. For my own sanity, why do you think Wentz will be fine and won't be like RG3? You guys are amazing. Keep killing it. Wentz for MVP.
Well, Wentz has a good head on his shoulders. RG3 was, first of all, a very frail, small guy that didn't really want to play within the pocket. He wanted to run first, and he had all the answers in football in the history of the game in his first 2 years.
And Wentz seems to be the most humble guy ever.
Yeah, exactly right. And Wentz wants to throw the ball from in the pocket first. He only gets out and goes when he has to. Now, the thing he has to change is what we've talked about a million times. You got to be smarter. He can't just think this is North Dakota State and I'm going to smash it up in there anymore. These guys are killers, and they love to hit the quarterback. It's the greatest thing ever, and he's just got to be a little more cognizant of that.
That was a long podcast. It was a good podcast.
Might be the longest one ever.
Really?
I think that's-
honestly, it might be.
I honestly think that's the 10th time you said that in the last 2 months.
You're right. I
Well,
agree. Well, listen,
Here we
man,
are.
we're getting fucking pumped. We are getting ready to go to Minneapolis. There's obviously not going to be a betting show this week, so enjoy this pod. You know what? That's why it's so long.
We're not doing a betting show tomorrow?
No.
What are you betting on, the Pro Bowl?
We're going to be handling that next week. When
What
we're
are we doing tomorrow? Are we doing something tomorrow?
We'll handle
we'll
that
talk
off
about
the
it.
air.
Okay.
Guys, thank you so much for the iTunes reviews. Thank you so much for everyone that commented on Sims and Lefkoe. Genuinely, all the people that DM'd me personally, the Instagram account, and said, Adam, congrats on the Eagles. It meant a lot. I appreciate you. For Chris Sims.
Peace out, homies.
For Josh Fendrick.
Good night, everybody.
Good evening. I am the Lefkoe.
Eagles fan!
Yeah, and we will be coming at you from Radio Row all next week with unbelievable interviews. I'm so excited to bring it to you guys. For now, for Sims and Lefkoe, we appreciate you, we love you, and we'll talk to you soon.